좋은 아침입니다. 어느 때보다 나는 비장하다. 상황이 안 좋으면은 바로 마이 입고 넥타이만 매면 돼. 많은 유저분들이 걱정하고 있는데 아마 좀 업데이트가 많이 될 거예요. 많이 될 겁니다. 확실합니다. 왜 질질 짜고 있는 거야? 업데이트가 된다는데 질질 짜지 마. 재수없게 소금 뿌려. 좋은 날에 의자 인증. 두개다. 이산대. 아니 안 준 거를 안 준 거 너 대팔렘이지? 대판 거 아니야? 안 준 걸 인증하라고 뭐 저기 글이 길어. 누가 블로그식으로 저런 글을 말했어? 보세요. 시즌에 뭐 키울지는 몰라요. 시즌 발표가 나서 정보를 알아야지 뭘 키울지 정하는 거지. 지금 정할 문제가 아니에요.
덕분에 살았습니다. 축복이 함께하시네.
능력이 부족해. 축복이
저는 지금 시즌 패치에 대해서 긍정적인 게 이거 일부러 스탠 때는 이거 힘을 숨긴 거고 시즌 1 때 보여주려고 일부러 지금 힘을 숨겼어.
능력이 부족해.
말이 안 돼.
더 필요해.
축제인가요?
축제입니다. 왜 숨겼냐고? 그건 잘 모르지. 이유는 잘 모르는데 아무튼 숨김. 말이 안 돼 솔직히 이거는 진짜. 이 넓은 성역에 아무것도 없이 텅텅 비어있다? 앞뒤가 안 맞거든. 그렇지. 추진력을 얻기 위해서 무릎을 꿇은 거지.
좀 더 기다려야 해.
아, 김숙진, 시즈문, 대축제를 향한 불리자들의 큰 그림인가? 샘쉘, 자동으로 눈이 떠졌습니다. 아, 축제일까요? 장례식일까요? 30분 뒤에 모든 것이 결정된다.
능력이 충분치 않다.
전에 디아사를 비웃던 지금도 비오는 이들에게 반박글을 달지 않았다. 니들이 허접한지 우리가 허접한지는 결과가 말해줄 것이다.
뜨드. 그리고 지금 뭐 물결 같은 거 하나 나오고 딱 땡길 거라고 얘기하셨는데 말도 안 되는 거야 그것도. 여기 법사 쓰냐? 아 기본 공격 안 쓴다고 했지.
자, 그럼 거래하실까요?
제가 걱정될 게 뭐가 있어요?
행운이 함께하길.
아까 저기 링크 봤잖아. 와우에 있는 와우랑 인모탈에 나왔던 그 타락 시스템일 가능성이 크다고. 솔직히 그 정도만 돼도 나는 괜찮다고 봐. 지금 떨어지는 저 허접한 템들에 뭔가 의미가 부여되는 거거든.
맨날 우리만 불신보에 서는 거야.
타락 물결이든 뭐든 안 중요해. 그러니까 거기서 뭐가 떨어지냐가 중요해. 뭐가 떨어지느냐. 아이고 아이고
세나 새벽 시청료 납부한
아이고 감사합니다 김진김님.
더 기다려야 해.
어서오세요. 여기 와서 착석하시면 됩니다. 조금 이따 큰 환호와 함께
목숨을 구해주시.
새로운 시즌의 뉴스를 보시면서 같이 박수를 치시면 될 것 같아요.
더 기다려야 해.
당신이 없었다면
모탈로 초반 1시간 질질 끌고 디아사 내용 마지막 15분일 것 같으면
애송소리 하지 마 자꾸. 애송소리 하지 마 자꾸.
당신이 없었다면
타락에서 템이 떨어지는 게 아니라 블리자드 주식이 떨어지면 너
아, 임사매님 1개월 구독 감사합니다. 블리자드 주식은 솔직히 알 바 아니지. 내가 주주도 아니고.
명령이 충분치 않다.
그게 뭐가 중요하겠습니까?
덕분에 살았습니다.
아유
약소하지만 나중에
아유.
주전부리 드실 때 보태시라고.
아유 고맙습니다. 감사합니다. 아유 맛있는 거 사 먹을게요. 고맙습니다 김진민님.
블리자드는 돈을 뜯어갔지만 포털은 더 크게 돌려준다는 포털은 심려 포털 기지라고.
아 목소리 킹받아.
명령이 충분치 않다.
컨텐츠는 모르겠고 더 많은 고유 아이템과 위상만 더.
준비가 안
더 많은 위상까지는 모르겠다. 근데 아까 누가 저거를 예상을 했잖아. 내가 와우랑 이모탈을 안 해서 저 컬업 시스템을 몰랐는데 얘기 들어보니까 그게 유력할 것 같아. 직업 고유랑 이것도 더 추가될 거예요.
짜잔 여러분들에게 더욱 맞는 컨텐츠 캐시로 살 수 있는 더 많은 스킬을 업데이트하겠습니다.
센스 타락이 뭔데 나도 좀 알자.
컬업! 그러니까 우리가 지금 쓰고 있는 이런 템에 무작위 보너스 스탯이 붙어. 근데 완전 무작위야.
좀 구해주시오.
아이템의 성능이 좋아질 수도 있는데 페널티가 붙을 수도 있어.
더 기다려. 기다려야 해.
지금 이렇게 뭐 회오리 바람 날리잖아. 이런 회오리 바람에 극대화 확률, 극피 이런 게 뭐 추가로 더 붙을 수도 있어.
기다려야
근데
해.
대신 뭐 사용되는 영역이 늘어나거나 아니면 내 체력이 줄어드는.
영역이 부족해.
랜덤이라는데 그게 또 의미가 있어요.
준비가 안 됐어.
솔직히 그런 랜덤 무작위성만 부여돼도 지금보다 페이지 줍는 맛 훨씬 좋아져. 200% 늘어요. 200%. 200%하고 왜 한 500% 늘어난다. 야, 근데 너 어떻게 이런 게시글을 쓰는데 원빈 얼굴이랑 이런 거를 양심이 없구나. 요거야. 뭐 이런 식으로 붙는 거야. 주공격으로 주는 피해 감소. 질주 기술 재사용되기 시간 3%뭐 증가 이런 식으로. 요거면은 뽑는 맛 날걸? 훨씬 괜찮다고 봐요.
난 딴 건 모르겠고 의자만 좀 없애주면 좋겠.
그거를 유저들이 족같아 하는 거를 인식하고 있을런지 모르겠네.
늪을 즐기시길.
난 마을에서 스페이스 누르고 싶어. 이거 안 되는. 이거 좀 됐으면 좋겠어. 마을에 스페이스. 버그가 되게 짜잘한 버그가 되게 많아. 여기 말 걸다 보면 뭐 가방이 꽉 찼군 이런 거 얘기하는 것도 있고.
노력을 헛되어야지 장비가 해진 것 같네요. 제가
지금은 그런 얘기 안 하네. 뭐 그렇게 얘기하는 것도 있고. 가방 꽉 안 찼는데 뭐 가방이 꽉 찼군 뭐 이러고 있고. 졸라 음흉해. 남의 인벤을 왜 훔쳐보는 거야? 몰라. 오 쉣! 방송이 켜졌잖아. 아이씨. 유튜브에서도 해줄 거야. 저번에도 유튜브에서 해줬었어.
낚시가 진도 많은데. 준비가 안 됐어. 최대한 빨리 하고 있어. 열쇠는 필요 없을 거라니. 영역이 모자라다. 준비가 안 됐어.
좋지만 대패 좀 깔끔하게 나왔으면 좋겠네요. 빌드 파워 고르게만 해도 2에서 3배로 즐기기 쉬우덕님데.
저는 거기에 대해서는 조금 부정적인 게 밸런스를 완벽하게 맞출 수가 없어요. 그거는 이제 좀 조언을 드리자면, 팁을 드리자면 그냥 좋은 빌드, 좋은 직업을 하세요. 결국 사람은 항상 비교를 해, 다른 빌드들이랑 이거를. 그래서 모든 직업들이 밸런스가 황벨이 나오기가 힘들어. 애초에 밸런스 맞는 게임이 없어. 그런 게임이 거의 없다고 보면 돼. 그냥 어쩔 수 없어요. 그냥 쟤는 왜 이렇게 세 하면은 그 직업을 키우는 수밖에 없어. 그 빌드를 하는 수밖에 없어. 1시즌에는 또 좋은 빌드들, 다른 빌드들이 있을 겁니다. 좋아지는 빌드들도 있을 거고.
다음 시즌에는 늑두가 내 손으로 들어올까?
늑두루가 갑자기 또 병신이 돼버릴 수 있어요. 그거를 우리는 그거를 몰라. 어떻게 될지, 디아가 어떻게 바뀔지. 그래서 오늘 시즌 소식을 듣기 위해서 지금 새벽에 모인 거야.
웍진입니다. 아무리 해도 안 나옴.
아니에요. 아무리 더 하시면 나와요. 나와요. 내가 샤코나 이런 템이면 안 나온다라고 딱 파고는 단정 짓겠는데, 늑뚜껑은 돌면 나와요. 그렇게 극악의 드랍률이 아니에요. 아니 뭘 또 술을 먹어. 아까 먹고 잤어. 나 아침에 운동 가야 돼. 한 잔 빨고 지금 한숨 자고 그렇게 온 거예요.
그래서 칼날 발톱하는데 이게 더 재미있음.
지금 드루가 전체적으로 다 평이 좋아. 나는 드루 지금 돼지방도 빼곤 다 해봤지. 지금 처부수기, 칼날벨톱, 그리고 회오리도 해봤는데 3개 중에 처부수기가 제일 재밌어. 처부수기. 가장 시원시원했고. 기부 소서 서드. 여기 막 애들 막 소화하면서 플리즈 블리자드 위니드 캐시샵 뭐라 파파너프. 나도 뭐 써놔야겠다. 전지전능하신 아카르트여, 우리를 구원하소서. 우리를 구원하소서.
나중에 한번 써봐야겠네요.
서불망님 감사합니다. 저것도 라이브로 공연을 했구나.
거래 성사네요.
그걸 보고 어떻게 단소라 얘기할 수 있지? 명이다. 뭐 특정 직업이 너프돼가지고 망하고 그런 거는 솔직히 관심 없어. 그런 건 괜찮아. 다 너프되면 그건 문제 있지. 애초에 그냥 지금 취약이란 시스템을 개선하지 않는 이상 대부분의 빌드들, 대부분 직업들이 사장될 수밖에 없어요. 그리고 법사들 노드도 좀 바꿔줄 필요가 있는 게, 이게 저항이 필요 없는데 방어 기제를 어떻게 만들어줘야지. 법사들 뭐 체력이나 방어도로 바꿔줘야 돼 걔들.
능력이 충분치 않다. 좀 더 기다려야 해.
이 시즌부터 난이도가 높아져가지고 그때부터는 저항이 필요할 거다 이렇게 얘기하는데, 그러면 그거대로 또 법사들이 힘든 거야. 아니면 진짜 예전처럼 상시 보호막을 계속 유지할 수 있는 뭐 이런 메커니즘을 준다거나. 예전 칼날, 얼음 칼날 할 때는 화보랑 얼음 보호막이랑 이거를 계속 돌릴 수가 있었거든. 무한으로 유지가 됐었어. 맞다, 영상 만들어야지. 감사합니다, 병란님. 사냥 소리 때문에 노래 소리가 묻힌다.
두고 가지 말아요. 여기 두고 가지 말아요.
장례식 아니거든?
어두운 밤에 넘어져 그대 눈을 감고 울어 마른 기침이 젖어 이제 곁에 앉아 쉬어 내 마음에 가글러 모든 죄를 잊고
좀 되게 위험해 보인다.
사랑만 주어 이제
저기서 꼭 노래를 불러야 돼?
나 당신의 어린 양이 되어 슬픔의 배를 가르고
나 저런 거 잘 못 참아. 막 위태위태하고 막 이런 거 있잖아.
나 당신의 어린 양이 되어
아래 안전장치는 무슨 동춘 서커스도 아니고 밑에 그물망이나 이런 게 뭔 소용이야.
어리석은 사랑을 꺼내 보이겠어요.
태양의 서커스 재밌다. 이거 한번 한국에 오면 가서 보세요. 되게 재밌어요. 예전에 부모님 한번 모시고 가본 적 있는데 되게 재밌어. 어른들도 좋아해 그거. 뮤지컬 같은 느낌이냐고요? 그냥 서커스 느낌이야. 가면 보면은 아 개쩐다 이 생각밖에 안 들어. 잘 들었습니다. 서커스 TV 같은 데서 본 적 없어? 돌려봐. 내가 보여줄게. 서커스. MC모 말고. 하긴 서커스 같은 거 유튜브에 올라온다.
너무 빨라. 저기서 줄넘기.
이거 태양의 서커스에도 이거 있어.
야야야. 미쳤다 진짜. 우와. 너무 빨라.
아니 풀로 봐도 재밌어. 똑같아. 동춘 서커스는 뭐야? 이 동춘 서커스라고?
자, 눈을 가리고 돌아가겠습니다.
아, 동춘 서커스가 아직도 살아있어? 태양의 서커스도 저거 하더라. 근데 이렇게 무대에서 보는 느낌이 아니라 저거야. 진짜 천막 이거 진짜 쳐가지고 거대한 무대 있잖아. 그걸 만들어. 기둥 같은 거 세우고 막 해가지고 천막 같은 거를 크게 해, 진짜. 뭐 맞아. 위대한 쇼맨 막 그런 거 맨키로. 신하이가 부릅니다. 서커스.
폭풍전야.
동시 번역 해주시면
저는 죄송합니다. 안 돼요. 그거는. 아이 프릴리 도끼인데 옵션이 어떻게 유리 옵션이 이렇게 없지? 그 날짜를 오늘 공개하는 거예요. 언제 열릴 건지. 이게 자막이 안 돼. 내일은 할 수가 없어. 시즌제는 그렇게 하는 게 아니에요. 미리 유저들한테 언제 할 건지 이렇게 공개를 해주고 준비할 시간을 주는 게 맞지. 당일날 그렇게 안 해. 한국에 가끔 와, 그 서거수가. 뭐 여자친구나 아니면 부모님 모시고 한번 가봐. 이거 크롬으로 저거 하는 거 있지 않았었나? 크롬 자막. 크롬 자막. 설정 접근성. 이게 저번 별로던데. 접근성. 실시간 자막. 열린다. 나 너무 설레서 중간에 깼어. 아까 한 11시 반, 12시쯤 깼어, 나는 중간에. 시스템적이나 그런 큰 틀은 안 바뀌어요. 바뀔 수가 없어요. 그게 뚝딱 되면은 얘들이 신이지. 그래서 이미 만들어 놓은 그 틀에서 그 시즌이라는 그 컨텐츠들을 덮어 씌우는 거야. 매 시즌마다 덮어 씌우고 덮어 씌우고 덮어 씌우는 거야. 근데 이제 뭐를 씌우냐, 옷을 어떤 옷을 입히냐, 그걸 봐야 돼. 우리는 미르다 이하. 통역병이 없어요. 혹시 여기 토익 100점 넘는 통역병 있습니까? 디스코드로 혹시 실시간 통역 가능하신 분 있으면은 있겠냐 시간에.
Hello.
That's it? That's how you open? Hello.
I'm gonna do that every single time.
Hello.
Welcome
Hello.
to
안녕,
another Diablo developer update live stream.
저걸 다시
My name is
한글로
Adam Fletcher.
번역하는
I am
방법 없냐,
the
이거를?
director for the Diablo franchise. Got some wonderful people here. We just have Rod.
Yeah, well,
Rod.
I'm not part of the wonderful crew, I guess.
Yeah. He decided to insert himself as of yesterday. So.
What is the power? If you have power, you should use it whenever possible, and I've decided to. So
we have Rod here, who is of
팝하고
course,
일일이
the
복붙하라고?
general manager of the
아니
Diablo.
근데 이분들은 저거잖아. 이모탈
Universe?
Universe?
Yeah.
I guess that's the best way
all
to say it.
things Diablo.
Can't use the word franchise.
Pierre's not here now.
Yeah, exactly.
갤럭시 카메라 비전이 뭐야?
Chris Liao
lead UX designer on Immortal.
and Ryan Quinn.
Hi, I'm senior narrative designer on Immortal.
So we are actually starting off today's show with some Diablo Immortal conversations. Also, I do want to mention we're using new fancy mics today. We've been joking around, and I call them the Britney Spears mic.
Right.
Rod calls them the
유튜브
Janet
자동 번역
Jackson
안
mic.
돼요.
Miss Jackson, if you're nasty.
Jackson.
It's because I'm older.
Rod, but is not
갤럭시.
wearing
I
them.
refuse. It doesn't take a genius to see the size of my
씨,
head
살아났어.
and the ability to put that little wire around this size of noggin.
어디 갔냐? 영어 자막이라도
So
볼래.
therefore, I've passed.
Disappointing. But he does have a really good impression of Britney Spears.
I am not doing it now.
Oh.
I am not doing it.
Okay.
영어
maybe we
자막이라도
can get it-
들려줘.
I'll knot my shirt later. It'll be good.
Maybe we can get it out of him during Q&A. Someone asked that question in Twitch.
영어 자막은 실시간으로
We'll make sure
나와.
to bring that up during Q&A. And
그렇죠.
there you go.
나온다고?
Answer it. So.
I think it's important that, like, last time you
나오는데?
clarified what we were doing was the campfire, which is more of a casual, we're just kind of giving updates. You know, we just want to be able to talk to the community.
Yes.
This is more of a developer stream, so it's a bit more official.
Yes.
But one of the things we wanted to recognize, too, is that, like, as a family of games, we
그럼
there's
확장
lots of
프로그램
cool stuff
맹기질에-
happening within in
잠깐만.
Diablo, and so we want to take. We don't always want
그럼.
to just be focused on just D4. We want, anytime there's something big or really interesting happening within Diablo, we want to be able to talk about it. You know, I could imagine we're going to have a season 29 conversation for Diablo 3 at some point in the future. And so one of the things we're going to look at, to do today was not just talk about, you know, we are definitely going to talk about season 1 on Diablo 4. And for some reason, Adam has structured this to be as tantric as possible. We'll get there, trust us. But it's going to take a minute. But what we really want to look at as well is we want to talk about a little bit. We're going to talk a little bit about what's the preseason before we go into season 1. We're going to talk about what's going on with D4 today because we actually have some news about today.
당신의 모고 한국어.
Another tease, didn't mean that. And and then we want to talk a little bit about Diablo Immortal because something pretty incredible is happening in Diablo Immortal, which is in nearly a decade, we're having our first new Diablo character class is being revealed. And we wanted to reveal it here on this stream. So, you know, one of the great things about Blizzard is the SFD team, story and franchise, and Blizzard Video, and everything that they do around cinematics. And we thought, how could we ask video to go with? Without further ado, may we present to you the new Diablo character class coming to Diablo Immortal very, very soon.
아 진짜 이모탈은 솔직히 별로 안 궁금하다.
이
비디오에 대한 자막이 없습니다. 야, 이모탈도 시네마틱은 잘 만든다. 그리고 어떻게 나오게 해? 하는 사람들은 하겠지. 아니 디아블로 얘기 나올 거야. 근데 이모탈 먼저 하고 하는데. 아, 자막이 켜져 있는 것만 돼요? 안 된대. 이모탈은 결국 모바일 게임이라서 한계가 있어. 한계가 있어. 설정, 접근성.
There we have it. The new class coming to Diablo and Diablo Immortal. It's the Blood Knight.
July 13th.
July 13th.
A little over a week away.
Exactly.
Sounds like there might have been some encoding issues.
Exactly. Yeah, I know that some people are talking about there's a little bit of hitching on it and so forth. I will say that we actually do have
외국
that
애들이
trailer
욕하고 난리 나는
that will
게
be on
애초에
a blog for
디아블로의
diabloimmortal.com
고수팬이라고 하면은
immediately
모바일로
after the
나온다
stream.
했을 때 싫어할
So
수밖에
people can
없어.
actually check it out. It will be on YouTube along with all the details that we're about to talk about. We just like to get ahead of ourselves. That's all. But obviously, first new class
저번에
to
유튜브
the
채팅
Diablo universe
막아놨었는데
in nearly 10
상황 좀
years.
볼까요?
I think there's a lot of questions in regards to like the story and so forth behind the Blood Knight.
채팅을 사용할 수 없는
Ryan,
실시간 스트리밍이라는데
like,
채팅
give us a little
막아놨는데.
bit of background regarding the Blood Knight itself.
Yeah, sure. So I think historically,
더 크게 하는
when we
법은
released
모르겠다.
DI, we released it with these sort of 6 very, very familiar, very stalwart classes that all of us love, that many of us have been playing for decades.
Q&A는 트위치
And
쪽이랑 하는 거야.
it's
트위치
great to
쪽이랑.
kind of indulge in that nostalgia. It's great to get that dopamine hit of playing a classic, but after 6 classes, it left us with the opportunity to do something that felt really new and different. To do a supernatural class that's kind of monstrous, that does things that our other dark classes like the Necromancer and the Demon Hunter don't do. And so we're really, really stoked about the opportunity to the Blood Knight on everybody.
Nice, nice. Yeah, I know, like, obviously everyone's kind of seeing the Blood Knight and they're thinking, like, is this, like, vampiric in some sort of way? Or, like, how does this fit in with the actual lore within Diablo?
Right, so the fine details are Blood Knights and vampires are intertwined. On Sanctuary, vampires are kind of like living plagues. They go from hunting ground to hunting ground. They kill people, they bite people. And sometimes people who they've bitten, they suffer this monstrous transformation. They start to devolve into what we call thralls, kind of like lesser vampiric beings, long teeth, hunger for blood, all that stuff. And a Blood Knight is a person who, through means of an ancient ritual, has that curse of thraldom arrested inside them, frozen essentially in place. They get some advantages, but they get some drawbacks too.
아, 정말 기대가
You mean the
되네요.
curse of turning into a thrall is a drawback? in a way?
Well, their thraldom is essentially on pause. So basically what happens is a Blood Knight, also preternaturally strong and fast, can see in the dark, can smell blood from a mile away, doesn't age anymore, as you've seen in the concept art, very, very fancy. But on the flip side, you know, they have these blood red eyes. They have black veins in their face.
Right.
Makes people uncomfortable. And
don't see
maybe
why.
yeah, I know, right. And
트위치
sort of more
채팅은 자고
pivotally
있다고요?
than that, you know, deep inside their soul, there is an abomination, a monstrous darkness that hungers for violence. And in order to tamp that down, in order to slow their transformation further, they have to perform a ritual. That keepsake that you saw in our cinematic character's right hand, the little thing on the chain.
Oh, the chain, yeah.
Yeah, that's basically their lifeline.
So like a link to their past?
Yeah. It's got a memento within of the last place that they were kind of truly
아이 다 들어놓는 게
human.
맞지 솔직히
And
뭔
so every
이모탈이요.
morning, noon, and night, they're doing ablutions with this thing.
따로 하라고
to
솔직히 이런
hopefully
거는
continue
끼어팔기잖아,
to keep the darkness
끼어팔기.
at bay. But you know, it's a process.
Right.
The ritual, it's hearsay. You know, it's been passed down for hundreds of years, and for basically every blood knight, you know, it
디아에
may
좀비가
fail
많냐고
at some
하는데
point. All blood
디아
knights are
2에도
doomed
좀비가
to one day
있었고
succumb to their curse.
And they don't
디아
know if
3에도
that's
좀비가
one day,
있었어요.
1 year, 1,000 years.
could
they
be
don't
centuries,
know.
right?
Yeah.
They're very, very long lived.
디아2 처음에 우리가
and what they
마을
pledge
밖으로
on
나가면 만날
is
수
that
있는
they're
그
going to use
느릿느릿한
all
목들
of the time
있잖아.
they have left
와,
to push back
이건 걔들이
the
좀비들이지
darkness.
뭐.
And
저길 보시오,
ultimately,
뒤틀린
for them,
놈이요.
since that is such an uncertain
뒤틀린 놈에도
question,
좀비고 뭐.
it's really about their inner sense of balance. Can I do enough good
Right.
to make up for the evil that will rise when I'm gone?
I just wanted to give a shout out because we had the art up there earlier, and that art is gorgeous looking. At the same time, they're very pretty. I've been joking about it. I'm like, oh, look, they're so pretty.
If you were going to turn into a monster, you'd want to stop.
Well, it's funny because they're very gorgeous here, and then they turn into the abomination, which is really funny to see. So it's like a complete opposite of what it is.
I mean, you mentioned the abomination. I think we saw the Blood Knight turn into this creature during that. So what actually is going on here?
저 뭔데
Like, this
계속
is
저걸 보여줘?
I guess Chris will talk eventually about how an abomination comes to me. But this is basically them tapping into what's inside them to change form.
Yeah, they're letting the curse off the leash just a little bit. It's going to grant them extreme power in the short term.
This is the Bruce Banner Hulk thing.
Yeah, but maybe there's a little anime teardrop there of like, do I come back from this?
Right. Okay. Got it.
Awesome. Well, I know with the Blood Knight, obviously, it's new class. How does it fit, Chris, into the a gameplay style? Like, what if you're playing at Blood Knight? What can you expect the style to be as a person that's actually jumping into Diablo?
Yeah, so the Blood Knight is actually a melee hybrid class, meaning there's tons of up-close combat
집이
with
불타고
arms.
있기는
However, they have a
저
host of
사람들은
shadow and blood
그냥
abilities
이직하면
they can
그만이야.
use to manipulate the battlefield in their favor. I think the drawback of Blood Knights might be that players that start playing it might feel that their mobility is limited. However, they have tons of legendary essences to help them improve the ability to close the gap on enemies, as well as life-stealing abilities to help them sustain themselves in lengthy combat sequences.
Got it. So in combat more often, close combat, so they're essentially taking more damage, but then they have abilities themselves to actually essentially drain, as we can see, kind of like life from others, essentially replenish their life while they're in combat.
The kebab attack, as I like to call it,
the skewer.
The skewer attack is my favorite thing right now. I was like, so what's happening there? We saw it in the trailer. We see it here as well, is where they're basically able to stab an enemy, smash it around like as if on the end of a hammer. So that's. You're like, Chris is like, yeah, that's basically it.
Yeah,
You defined it.
It's
Yeah.
pretty awesome.
But it actually has a stun as well, right? It's not just the attack on the
하면
one thing that you
사람들이
skewered. It actually can.
그거 보겠냐?
It has an
지금
area
일부러
effect.
그냥
Yeah,
먼저
so the
이모탈
Blood
먼저 하는
Knight
거지.
stabs their polearm forward into the closest enemy, then swings overhead the enemy and slams it into the ground, stunning everyone in a small AoE. And there are also legendary essences that let you lunge forward or actually leap to perform the slam.
Oh, nice. Yeah, it's awesome.
And then I know, like, of course, with every class in Immortal, they all have different ultimates depending on their primary attack skills and so forth. Like, what kind of two different ultimates can we expect with the Blood Knight?
Yeah, I could talk a bit about the primary attacks. The first is Ravage. They're basically swinging their polearm around in a 3-hit combo. And right here is the ultimate, where they become a 5-hit
나는
combo
모바일
with
게임을
the
잘 안 해서 모르는데
and
You
the-
will
그래도 모바일 게임 치고 컬은 좋은 거 아니야? 임모탈이?
I like.
And the other primary attack they have is called Shadow's Edge.
그렇지 게임 자체는
Quite a
괜찮지.
unique one. It's the first in Immortal.
결국
where
뭐 저거지.
the,
돈 비즈니스 모델 때문에 그런 거지.
컴퓨터는 있다. 시원하게 말하고
and for
싶네.
enemies that are further away, they'll actually throw the dagger forward, and there are legendary essences that add damage over time or make the dagger ricochet.
Nice. So you can essentially, it's good room clear type of abilities is what I'm hearing.
이미 모바일
So
쪽에서
if you got
돈
the
많이
monster
땡겼다고
friendly,
알고 있어요,
especially,
임모탈이.
if the daggers are ricocheting and you mentioned piercing
엄청 많이
and so
땡겼다고
forth with
알고
the
있어요.
ultimate and
찐먹이
everything,
전안 해요.
you can essentially clear out whole rooms with that. So it's awesome to hear. I know, as you mentioned beforehand, tons of legendary essences and everything that are associated to kind of modify skills. I know, and we're even seeing here, this is like the abomination that we were talking about
So
beforehand.
why would I want to become the abomination? What do I get from that?
Yeah, so I'll talk about the abomination a bit. The way it works is it is a transformative skill that requires the defeating
와,
enemies
한국에서도
to
매출
fill the bar, much like
600억이라고?
an ultimate.
Right.
However, it happens
대단하다,
much more
징하다.
often, and it then transforms your entire skill
아니
bar
시바디아
into
사보다
a new
모션 더
primary
화려한
attack,
거
followed
실화냐.
by two specific skills. a
임모탈 하러
blood
가
rush,
그러면
where
임모탈
the blood
하던가.
knight actually dashes forward in a ball of blood. And then there's a 3-hit combo attack where if on the last hit they fly into the air and slam the ground, stunning everyone. A lot of stuns.
Nice.
Nice. That's awesome to see. I think with this update that's coming out on the 13th and the Blood Knight itself, and there are like even other components and that are kind of going to be coming with this actual update. Do you guys have any like additional information on?
Well, there's ways to play it, right? Like so the things that's really interesting. Like I think having a new character class introduced on basically the anniversary of Diablo Immortal is really exciting. Like it's a great way to celebrate 1 year that Immortal has been at. It's hard to believe it's already been a year. It's crazy. But so having a new character, but I've been like a whirlwind barbarian for
디아블로
a year now,
이모탈은 어썸할
and
겁니다.
loving that. And so now I'm going to obviously one of the
많이
great things
애용하고
about Immortal is that you
사랑해주세요.
can class change. So I can take my Paragon 500 Barbarian. I know that's not high. Thank you very much. I can take my Paragon 500 Barbarian and turn it into a Blood Knight. Yes. Because there's basically three ways. We have the player who's been playing for a year, like myself. We have the new player, and we have the test driver. Right, is the way to think about that. So maybe you can go through that.
Yeah, totally. So if you're brand new to Immortal and have never played before, you can play the Blood Knight right out of the gate, create a new character completely
임모탈이
free,
형이야 디아포도
and start
투자한다.
with
그건
a
뭔 소리야?
main story complete with custom Blood Knight VO lines for all of the main quests. And for players like Rod who have been playing for a while and want to convert to
디아블로4의
this
시청자가
class,
급증하는
I'm happy to say
거는
that we've
지금
made some major
전 세계
improvements to class
디아풀저가
change,
오늘이
strength and
축제인지
intelligence will now convert
장례식인지
properly.
A huge, I know, it's a
그걸 확인하고
huge
오는
request that a
거예요.
lot of people are asking for. Yes.
Yes, it's going to be great. And also, players will be able to, during the event, change to the Blood Knight on a one-day cooldown and also revert back infinitely. So if you decide
나
you
씨발
don't like playing
5천
Blood
소주
Knight, you
한병
can
가져와야겠다.
revert the day of. Or if you want to try it again tomorrow, you can go ahead and change back to the Blood Knight.
Nice. Awesome.
And lastly, I want to talk about the Crimson Plane event. So for Immortal players that are familiar with Fractured Plane, there will be a special Crimson Plane event where there'll be a
So I think a lot maybe don't know what Fractured Plane. So maybe just what's the 5-second version of what is Fractured Plane?
So Fractured Plane is basically a roguelite inside of Immortal where you're able to try out all of the skills and abilities and build towards 15 levels of defeating enemies just to try out different skills.
You basically start with a fresh class, and so you're taking your character. Like I have a very specific build with very specific gear. But if I wanted to go play Fractured Planes, it says, "Oh, you're a barbarian. Here's some random
몇 분
skills.
지났지?
See how far you can get with this, and you
20분
build
정도인가?
up your gear and stuff as you're playing through this roguelike experience." Yeah.
Exactly.
And
안주
so
아까
now
먹다 남은
for the Blood Knight
삼겹살이랑
introduction, you've created Crimson
세송이
Planes, which
버섯.
is a version of the same experience to go and test drive all the different Blood Knight skills.
Exactly. So you'll be able to try out different skills and legendary essences.
오늘 임모탈
without
얘기도
actually
같이 한다고
committing to changing
했었어.
to the class. So just try it out, see if you like it, and if you do, there's always class change available.
Nice.
Nice. That's awesome to hear. So we
같이
have,
좀 끼워서
and
얘기
we
좀
have other things
하겠습니다
like I
하면서
mentioned that are
공지를
coming in
했었어.
this actual update. I know that for any new player that's coming in, of course, they can create a Blood Knight, how we mentioned beforehand, customize it, and it's completely free. And then, of course, any existing character can do class changes if they want, or they can create a new character if they would like to do it that way as well. But I know we have like a new legendary gem that's going to be coming in this actual update as well. And then we even have just other items associated with this specific patch that'll be hitting as well.
Full set of legendaries for the Blood Knight too.
Yeah, and we're actually going to be listing out every single legendary
the blog, yeah.
that is available for the Blood Knight on our blog immediately after the stream. So you guys can check out the cinematic trailer that we showed off for the Blood Knight earlier on that blog, and of course read all the details about what's coming in this update that is hitting on the 13th of July. So soon. It's crazy. So we do. We're super stoked. The cinematic is amazing, by the way. I just want to
Why are you, for people who didn't get to see it in full frame rate, you're basically rubbing their noses right now.
Essentially,
화나신 건 알겠는데 오늘 이모탈이랑 디아포랑 같이 발표한다고 했어요.
That cinematic is great.
진정하시고
Nothing like seeing blood splattered all over some stained glass.
곧 있으면 좋은 소식이 있을 겁니다.
So it makes perfect sense. It's great. But we are super stoked. So yeah, July 13th is when it's going to be coming out. And then, of course, again, check DiabloImmortal.com immediately after the stream. We'll have a blog up there for people to check out all the details.
Congratulations, guys, on the year. It's been an amazing year for Immortal. And I think people who maybe tried it at launch and haven't gone back to take a look at it, basically every quarter we do major updates and really change the game. So the ability to craft set items, the ability to take your duplicate legendaries and turn that into a currency so that you can make your current legend stronger, and the way that you do dungeons now, and the tower play. There's just so much else going on. So it's a free-to-play game. If you want to go check it out, just to see all the changes. Like I said, there's been in a year. It's a completely different game in the sense of the different ways that you can approach the content, which is exciting. But hearing the fact that you fully recorded all VO for the Blood Knight for the campaign, I think it'll be exciting to go back and start over.
Yeah, it's about 2,000 lines in total. We've got a pair of really, really awesome voice actors, Abby Trott and Ben Prendergast. Absolutely killed it as the Blood Knight. It's just pure haughtiness and bloodlust and action all the way through. They've got some interesting takes on I was going to say the name of the villain.
안경 낀 사람 개발 잘할 것처럼 생겼고.
In Darkwood. Some interesting perspectives there. But yeah, I don't think there's ever really been a better time to re-roll, to start a new run through the story.
Awesome. Well, thank you guys very much, and congratulations.
Thanks so much, Rob. We're stoked.
예전에 뭐였지?
And we're going to be now switching
거기에
over to D4
나오는
content. We're actually going to take a really short break.
인도인
We're
말고
going to
저희
swap
유대인
people in.
친구
This
있잖아.
room
그
is only
친구
so
닮았다.
big. And we also need mics off of people and everything, but we're going to
약간
be
그 느낌 나지?
swapping in
그 느낌 나지 않냐?
into our Diablo 4 segment. So we'll see you here in a minute or so.
아 이건 화질 왜 또 깨져? 좀 좋은 화질로 보여줘. 좋은 화질로 좀 틀어주지. 사실 디아포를 가장 재밌게 하는 게 저때 아닐까? 솔직히 나는 레이스에서 저것도 못 봤는데.
May we fight true in His holy name.
자막 저거 성능 좋다.
Blessed be the light.
영상이 아니네요.
And we're back.
What happened to the awkward hello? You're supposed to go, hello.
That's going to be my intro
I'm
for
technically
everything.
not back.
Wait.
Well, you are technically back.
Shirley.
We're in other streams and other times.
Correct.
I'm not back. I'm new.
Oh, yes. Tim is new. Tim also has the best voice in the world.
Yeah. Wow.
So
really nice.
Tim is just going to talk for the rest of the stream.
Wow, okay. I didn't prepare for that at all.
Surprise.
Maybe you should actually introduce people?
Yes,
or?
I will introduce people. We are now joined by our
이제 시작이야,
wonderful
이제 시작.
Diablo4 developers.
아, 번역은 왼쪽 위에 자막 띄워놨잖아. 저거 보고 알아서 번역해. 내가 어떻게 알아.
Hello, Tim Ismay. I'm one of the lead producers on Diablo 4, specifically focused
나도 왼쪽이 지금
seasons.
자막만
I say
보고
that
있어.
because if you ask me questions outside of the season's context, I have no idea what's going on.
그 자막이 너무 빠르게 휙 지나가.
There's more than one season.
trying to build more than one season.
There is more than one season. That's going to be. We're revealing that.
Or that's job security right there.
I'm actually just asking for it.
Wait, we're supposed to be thinking about job security? Damn it.
And we have
시즌1을 만든 놈이라니요.
Yes.
만드신 분들이 될지 만든 놈이 될지 아직 모릅니다.
About season 1 today.
아직 몰라요.
But first.
But first.
Oh, but first. That's right.
Because Adam has built everything possible to talk about except the season.
Right. You can never start talking about seasons until we talk about something else first. But there are cool things to actually talk about.
Correct. We, obviously it's been a little over a month since Diablo 4's launched.
It's only been a month.
Is it? Well, if you include
no, but you're right. It is.
Yeah.
Like I always the amount of feedback we get about like, hey, this thing, and you're like, it's been like 5 weeks. Like,
Exactly.
give us a second.
Exactly.
So
it has been a month, a little bit more than a month since Diablo 4 has
wait,
actually
how did
launched.
you guys get a season done in 4 weeks? That's incredible.
We started it well before the game launched.
That's smart.
We actually released it.
We're extremely good at our job.
Wait, so you
I don't want to
started
get in the weeds,
before the
everybody.
game
I
launched?
don't want to get in the weeds, everybody, but like we did start before the game launched to make sure that we could actually release.
I thought you were just
something.
going to say zombies are really easy to make, and so therefore it was.
Yeah,
Oh my
obviously
God.
that's what it is. Okay.
Also, people are saying that your mic is low, Mr. Joey P.
My mic
Yeah,
is low.
so I don't
Okay,
know if
I'll bring it in a little
we'll
bit.
fix that. I promise. Live broadcast, everyone.
I can project everybody. That's
he
what's going to take.
He can start screaming.
Just scream at everybody.
And you haven't seen
So
Joey P
interrupted.
scream.
So you,
Sorry.
you're talking about the 5 week. I was just shocked by the 5 week thing, but anyway. So yes, it's been 5 weeks.
Obviously it's been 5 weeks since we launched. We've had numerous updates to the game, hot fixes, patches. We actually had a campfire chat in between. Where we talked about even a big update that was coming before season 1.
13-page.
Yes, 13-page. Which people are like, well, that must have been like 14-point font, double spaced. And I'm like, maybe it was, but it still was very big. It was like 11 pages and went on the actual site. But we've addressed a lot of feedback and everything related to the game. We still have more feedback that we're actually going to be addressing. And I will say that later this afternoon there is going to be another patch, climb patch. Surprise, spoilers, or announcement. We will have patch 104. That's going to be hitting all platforms later this afternoon. There will be patch notes posted this afternoon. Very much not as chonky as 103, but it does address additional feedback and issues that people have been reporting over to us in the actual patch notes.
Come on, put you on the spot.
Funny enough, did I actually have this printed out?
I don't think you can say that 1.04 is coming this afternoon and not give an example of something we're fixing in 104.
I know that they are actually doing a gameplay fix in regards to, or a gameplay adjustment to Helltide Chess, so that Helltide Chess will now actually drop unique items.
Yeah, have the chance to drop unique items, but yes.
Sorry. Have the chance, not like a guarantee. Now that's quoted, and I'm just like,
yeah.
But,
so that's okay. That sounds stupid for me as the GM to go like, I thought they already could drop uniques with Helltide Chess, so I was mistaken there.
Yeah. It's so there are some content types that the rewards are not dropping like unique items from it. So like like Whisper bounty caches, for example, don't have a chance to drop unique items when you turn in for those.
Didn't know that either.
Yeah, but I think that there's opportunities for us to continue to like try to expose this more as we talk about these things moving forward. But yeah, this is an opportunity now. We want to make sure that when players are trying to target farm for certain kinds of uniques for their builds, they need to grab in order to bring those things online, that those whisper caches really can be used as a way to or not whisper caches, the tortured gifts you can get from the Hell Tides events. Those are really good opportunities to go and try to go for those.
And that's this afternoon. So once 104 goes out, once your uniques can drop in.
That's right. That's right. That's this afternoon.
Yep, and I will say, like, we've been getting, like we've mentioned, I think many times already in this stream, we have been getting a lot of feedback related to bugs, issues, or even just like general gameplay feedback, and it's something that the team has been reading through and getting through, and those are things that, you know, obviously we're addressing as we get through all these different updates in the future and everything.
We're building a big backlog. Like, this is the thing, I was making the joke about they started before, like seasons started before we launched, just to try to set expectations. Like, we're trying.
시즌 제작자 표정이 눈꺼풀이 반쯤 잠긴 거는 그만큼 달려가지고 그런 거
kind of
아닐까?
vibrate the game out of stability, and so we're trying to be as reactive as we can, but in a safe way, and knowing we have a large backlog of. Season 1 was already well in flight, and Season 2 is also very much well in flight.
지원물가 상자에서는 먹어본 적이 없는데 못 짰다가는 먹어봤어.
Please don't take the lack of instantaneous response as in we don't hear you. We hear you. We hear about I want to lock my inventory. We hear you about all the different types of things that you're giving us feedback on, and we appreciate that feedback, and we're doing our best to address it as quickly and as safely as possible. So, so just trying to manage expectations that sometimes it might feel, but again, it's only been 5 weeks. This is a game that we are going to, we're going to support for years to come. This is a foundation of, we said the launch was the beginning, not the end. And so we're going to be continuing to support this game through many seasons and through expansions and what have you. And so please just allow us some time to catch up and through our backlog to get to those items that we know that you care about.
And I do want to note that we're, as we were in preseason, we were obviously shooting out a lot of updates really quickly, and this is something we talked about a little bit on the campfire chat, but we are going to get into a more systematic way of being able to update the game, so it's not just going to be like ad hoc, hey, guess what, a new client patch type of thing, unless there's an emergency. But yeah, people start to find some familiarity with how we actually update the game around seasons and client patches that may occur, whether they are in between or only on seasons and so forth. So we'll have that actually communicated out, and people then know what to expect going forward when we do have different updates or different patches that actually do the game.
I think it's really important that we have now talked about things we did in the preseason. We've made a number of changes on the balance side. We've responded to a lot of player feedback. We've got 1.04 coming out later on this afternoon. But Adam, what do the people want to hear about?
Zombie! Season 1. So we're actually now going to talk about. No, I'm just kidding. But we do want to talk about Season 1. Season 1 is coming, and we actually have a really cool trailer to show off before we jump into it. So hit it, Rich and Matt.
보자.
I am writing to you because although a great evil is receding from Sanctuary, a new festering curse now spreads its corruption across the land. More dangerous, more malignant than I could have imagined. I have found a way to stop this plague. To rip the dark power of these monsters from their very core and turn it to our advantage in destroying them. But I cannot do this alone. My allies have fallen. My strength is dwindling. The malignant are relentless and without mercy. I need help. I need you.
(7월 20일) 7월 20일?
The first season of Diablo 4 coming out on July 20th. The season of the Malignant. Lots to talk about there. So we're actually going to jump into it. No, I'm just kidding.
딱 예상한 정도야.
Obviously, a lot of people want to know what's going on. We even teased it on social media yesterday where something was corrupting Sanctuary. I guess Tim, Joe, like
yeah, no, okay.
explain
So
to us what's going on now?
So season 1, the season of the Malignant. So our very, very first season in the game is going to basically take place after the events of Diablo 4. So after the redacted and the redacted have happened and the player has finished redacting the redacted, once all that's out of the way, that's when things are really going to kick off in the world of Sanctuary, kind of step off from that point.
뭐 하는 건데?
And there's a new threat that's basically emerged in Sanctuary. There's this malignance, there's this corruption that's begun to spread throughout like the hearts of the creatures throughout the world. And that's everything from like beasts to humans, to demons themselves, everything in between. Can be corrupted by this malignance as beginning to take root and fester inside inside people. And it's basically kind of like it's changing them, right? It's turning them into these bloodthirsty fiends. Effectively, they're going out and trying to destroy everything. And it's threatening Sanctuary at a very, very, very high level. The player's going to come across a new character that they're going to introduce to over the course of the season named Cormand, we actually saw in the trailer there.
왜 POE 역병 얘기를 꺼내고 있어 지금?
Cormand is an ex-member of the Cathedral of Light. He used to be a priest of the Cathedral of Light. And he's taken it upon himself to start trying to dive deeper into this new malignant threat that's risen over the course of these days following the events of Diablo 4's main campaign. But he's finding himself maybe a little out of his depth. You say, Tim? Like, what do you think about
떨어지는 그런 재화가 있을 거야. 그거를 모아서
을 갖고 가는 것 같은데. When he's not 100% successful, he comes to the player and says, "Hey, you were really helpful in the past. Could I get a hand from you?" So that's kind of where things start.
Yeah, he's
이거는 좀
very.
신선하긴 하다.
I think that you'll find like everything in the room is on fire, but he's sitting there like, "I can fix it. You know, we can find a way to solve this, right?" But he's a great new character that the player get introduced over the course of the season. But that's really just where things kick off. Now, and players will start the season of Malignant actually in Kyovashad, and they're going to gain access to like the beginning of the story of the season pretty much right away. You know, so you're able to start off right at level 1, like jumping out of the gate and be able to start like following the thread of this new season storyline.
And we're going to talk about the transition from the current Eternal Realm into the season afterwards. We're going to get through the season information first.
Yeah.
Well, then I know people are really curious about what happens to my current character, how do I think about that transition, but we'll get to that after we get through the season details.
Yeah, that's absolutely right. So that's the kind of like the high level, like what's happening.
That's the theme, right?
That's
so
the
we
theme,
have a
yeah.
seasonal theme with a seasonal story, but like what about the mechanic? On top of the theme, there's usually the seasonal mechanics. So what's the mechanics that we're looking at?
We're trying to add more stuff to seasons that appeal to everything that a player does in Diablo 4. So we are adding story, the elements of what you're going to find out about what is actually happening. Then we want things that are new challenges for the player. Things that you can fight before, as well as new powers, things that you can build your character in a different way, a different direction than maybe you did in any previous season, or in this case, in the preseason when you had just the Eternal Realm. So hitting all of those notes, we're starting with a mechanic around the threat. So what is the threat? The Malignant. We've been talking about it a lot. Where does the Malignant actually show up? That actually shows up throughout the entire game. Yep. When you're playing in the world of Sanctuary, anytime you encounter any elite monster, there's a chance that it will spawn as a malignant version of that monster. So that malignant version is going to have these growths on it and some additional power. After you kill it, a heart will actually appear, the exposed malignant heart that was causing this. If you then interact with that heart by using a page of binding, it now starts a ritual where it's pulling all the malignants in and a new, even more powerful version of that elite is spawned.
Yep.
Why would you want this? How does this help you? Well, if you can manage to beat that even more powerful version where you see these other minions are now helping it, these other malignant creatures, now it drops the caged heart. You've actually put all of that malignant power into this cage that is an item that you can use that is kind of like a gem. It's like a gem in the sense that you can sock
드랍을 바로 되게 해야지.
It is very much not like a gem in the sense that it has an enormous amount of power.
바로 루팅 되는 거야? 아니면 방금 터지는 것 때문에 피한 거야?
It's like that, maybe even a little bit more than that. So you can take these malignant hearts, you can socket them into your jewelry, and that gives you these kind of stupid new broken builds that are hopefully balanced, but they are extremely powerful. So these are new options of how you can play the game.
Yeah, so this is really, really cool, right? So one of the things we really want to do with each season, to Tim's point, is we want to make sure that we're providing new ways for players to engage with Diablo 4, new problems for them to solve, new ways for them to customize their characters and kind of do new cool stuff.
Right.
And that's what Malignant Hearts and the powers associated with Malignant Hearts really allow us to do. So one of these things, so yes, you can take a Malignant Heart that you've managed to collect from one of the consumed that you managed to kill, one of these super malignant creatures that you've
자, 저
killed,
심장을 어떻게 쓰냐가
socket them
중요해요.
into your gear. We have 32 new, I'm not going to say like over 30, we have 32 new malignant powers.
You know exactly how many powers.
Technically, it's 32. So we have 32 new malignant powers are going out this way. These are new legendary power-like abilities. You can see this one here, critical strikes, electrically charge creatures for a certain amount of damage. So these are like, there's a lot of really powerful things like this that you'll be able to kind of like interact with over the course of time. But each of the Malignant Hearts you're collecting are actually like a category. They're associated with a color. So if like, Brutal Hearts, for example, or like have a blue color to them. And they'll only go in infested sockets you'll find on rings and jewelry during the season of the Malignant of a matching color.
I see.
So when you're hunting for when you're finding new amulets and rings or gambling at the Opal's vendor, whatever it is you want to do, you're kind of looking for specific socket colors.
Or if you're getting a unique ring from the new Helltide chest rewards as you're playing from the one.
That's right. If you happen to luck out and get Mother's Embrace because you need another Mother's Embrace, then yes, you can absolutely.
One will never do. But what's interesting, so there's 3 different types of color sockets, yes?
There's 3 different types of colored sockets, but there's 4 different types of Malignant Hearts.
Yes. Go on.
Well, okay, I guess I will. So the last Malignant Heart type is called basically a Wrathful. It's an extremely powerful Malignant Heart type. They're very, very rare to find. They will fit in any colored socket as you go. And you kind of want a combination of all of these. So even though the Wrathfuls are pretty strong, you're really only looking to probably have like 1 or 2 of these based on what you might actually need for your build, over the course of time. So it's fun, really want to be able to experiment with, again, creating these different problems for players to solve, different ways for players to engage with things, and really change up that experience by virtue of adding these new powers. They're going to unlock different builds potentially for classes, to Tim's point, and just basically be like a really fun, exciting new way for players to kind of inject new power.
But you're looking for so can the jeweler, when the jeweler right now can add a socket to, a piece of jewelry.
레벨이야 있을 수 있어.
Are they
근데
able to add
문제는
colored sockets, or are those only
you can't
found?
choose the
저걸
color
여러분들이
anytime a
존내
ring
주워가지고 또
roll with a
창고에 정해놔야
socket
되는데.
when the season of Malignant starts. It's always going to have a color associated with it. There's not like you couldn't get like just a regular jewel socket.
But even a jeweler created one. Like if I have a ring with no socket, when I do the jeweler, it'll be colored.
It'll always be colored. Yeah, it'll always be an infested socket.
보석이라는 거는 재미난 개념이긴 해요.
But that's true for unique. So if I'm looking for I have a unique ring, like you talked about, but I want the blue version. I could find a unique with the red socket, and I could find the yellow socket. So I'm looking for blue. So there'll be multiple versions of the uniques as well, right?
That's correct. Yeah. So yeah, fun new stuff to look forward to, and that's just, we showed in the video earlier, like the player fighting a malignant creature. There's a chance for, as Tim pointed out, like there's a chance for all kinds of elites out there in the world to be malignant in nature, which makes them a little bit more powerful. But then when you kill them and you go and you actually use the Cage of Binding to capture their heart, then you fight that super consume, the consume version. It's like that's gonna be like buffing nearby monsters. It spawns a bigger combat in that scene. There's more to look forward to, and those get tougher and tougher. And you
자세한 거는 내일 저기 디아 인벤이나 아니면은 저기 디아 갤러리를 가시면 됩니다. 오늘은 대충 어떤 느낌인지만 그냥 보시는 거예요.
The old, the crappy hearts that I got earlier, are those useless? You can actually break those down at the crafter as well to get a crafting material out of them that allows you to craft new items, including invokers. So invokers are something that you can use a little bit further on. Once you finish the campaign of Season 1, you will unlock the ability to go and use these at a specific place called a malignant tunnel. So if you are trying to...
That's also the name of my colonoscopy.
Okay.
There we go. And
it's a serious thing when you're over 50. You should know that.
That's a good point.
So if you have a malignant tunnel, you should get yourself checked out.
So in the world of Sanctuary, when we say Malignant Tunnel, we mean, hey, I'm a player and I actually want to get more of these hearts, but it's just a random chance on elites out in the world.
아니야.
Where can I intentionally find
그렇게
more of them?
단순한
There are these
그게
Malignant
아니야.
Tunnels. So there are actually places
더 있어.
across the world where the malignance is manifesting in these new dungeons. So if you specifically want to go
지금
find
이미
more malignant
POE식으로 그런
hearts, you
시즌
can hunt
콘텐츠를
down
한다는
these
거는
tunnels. You can go
저게
in
다가
and,
아니야.
hey, there are more malignant there. So there's a higher chance of finding malignant monsters there. And if you want to guarantee it, man, I really need a very specific type of malignant heart. How do I make that even more likely? That's when you take
자동으로
your crafted
주어지네,
invoker,
저거는.
you go all the way to the end of a malignant tunnel, and you can use it on a malignant outgrowth. When you use it on that outgrowth, it now spawns that specific type of malignant that's going to have the color associated with it of the heart you're trying to find. You kill that, and you're going to get the specific heart. So there's a little bit more targeted farming you can do as you approach the end game of Season 1.
Actually, I have go to the C video. It will be able to show you going into an Evoker event where you can go in and sort of, which I've heard called the turkey baster from hell, basically, is what an Evoker looks like.
It does kind of, yes. That wasn't the art direction on it, but yeah, that's where we ended up.
So yeah, at the end of these malignant tunnels, you're going to find that there are these masses of malignants that you're going to be able to go and interact with, and each of the tunnels has
방금
a few
그거
different ones.
역병에 보던 그거 아니지?
Colors of malignant outgrowths that can spawn from those.
아니지, 역병에 나오던 아니야, 그거 아니야.
Target farm, as Tim
그냥 비슷하게 생긴 거야, 비슷하게 생긴 거. 그냥 방금 골라서 눌렀을 때 경험치가 올라서 랩업한 거야.
So when we show
아니야.
just showing it?
그냥 생긴 게 비슷해서 그런 거야.
Yeah, show the one you were just showing, because that was the Invoker event. So basically, there's a growth. You get to the end of the tunnel. You're able to basically, essentially, you're requesting a monster of a particular color. Yes, you're saying like, I want a blue heart. A chance to get a blue heart by trying to defeat the blue monster. Yes,
that's right. And some of these are particularly later on in the experience, the most powerful hearts you can get are going to be delivered from things like these Invoker encounters. To go and interact with. So yeah, something we're very excited about.
So basically, they use an Invoker on one of the pods.
That's right. Yeah, the outgrowths from this malignant mass.
Which then creates a blue monster for you to fight. You have to take that down, which will then.
여튼 색깔을 고르면은 거기에 맞는 엘리트 몹이 나오고 그걸 잡으면은 그 색깔의 보상을 준다 이거 같은데.
When this thing pops up, after you kill this one, you don't actually have to capture it. You're fighting the powerful version of it immediately.
That's what I was asking. Yeah, so you don't have to do the 1-2.
That's right.
Got it. So that's nice. So it's kind of a little like the sigil crafting, where you basically, I've got a bunch of stuff I'm not using right now. I can craft it down so that I can focus what malignant hearts I want. Because maybe my build, I know I want a brutal heart, but I haven't running into any blue malignants out there in the world. So now I can go into a malignant tunnel, fight my way to the end, have an opportunity to use the Invoker to create a blue malignant to go after its heart. Yeah.
That's right. That's right. Yeah. Rogers called it out.
And I know.
That's all I'm here to do is summarize.
That's good.
He's like, I will take everything you said, summarize it into 2 sentences. And I know, obviously with the story and so forth, there are new a new boss and so forth associated with it.
We're not really talking about the boss.
We're not redacted, but yes.
It's worth calling out,
There's new boss monster for players to fight over the course of the season. There are new legendary items for players to collect this season.
Correct.
There's our legendary powers, I should say, for players to collect. There's new unique items for players to collect.
Now those new unique legendaries and the unique uniques. Thanks for that. Those are not just in the seasonal realm, though, right? Are those things that are also showing up in the eternal?
That's right. Those will also show up in the eternal realm. So
exactly.
Yeah, if you're a player who's really trying to continue to progress your character in the eternal realm, there's now a few new items for you to go try to hunt for and use to kind of augment and change your build.
This is the moment where I can do the producer thing.
Yeah.
So you probably saw before on the screen when we looked at the cinematic, it was awesome. And we said July 20th. Oh my God, there it is. The day it's coming out. We are actually putting out the patch a little bit earlier. So just for awareness, so everyone knows, you're going to see your game patching on July 18th. That is all of the stuff coming to you that is going to turn on July 20th.
Balance changes, the new items.
Yeah. So July 18th is actually anything that shows up on the Eternal Realm is there right away. If you just want to continue playing the game as normal on your existing characters or a new Eternal character if you want, July 18th, the new legendaries and uniques that they were just talking about will be available to you on the Eternal Realm, as well as any other improvements, balance changes, rewards changes that we've made. Those will be there right away on July 18th. July 20th, the season turns on. You can now create seasonal characters.
I think it's like going back to managing expectations. I think one of the things we've been trying to be really clear about with Seasons is that it is not a continuation of the main campaign storyline. Like we've been trying to use phrases like it's a new quest line. Working with Corman to solve the Malignant is a big, is obviously the journey you're on, but it's not about the Anarius Lilith journey. It's not extending that story. It's sort of a side story inside the open world.
Yeah, it just takes place after the events of Diablo 4. But you're absolutely right. This is a new self-contained story within the season of the Malignant, which is great because it just gives us it affords us a lot of opportunities to tell an exciting story and to create these new big features to kind of go along with that and support it.
So as I'm playing through that now, it would be amazing if there was some way to sort of track my accomplishments through the season. I don't know, maybe some sort of journey perhaps
so
would be really...
You want to track your seasonal journey through some kind of feature.
I don't know if I could tee that up any higher for you. We went from golf to
T-ball really fast, no, absolutely. So this is our obviously
저거 노트로도 알 수 있는 게 아니야.
season journey feature, which I know we've talked a little bit about on stream before, but
거기서 옵션을 몇 개 보여준 거 여러 개 보여준 것도 아니고.
Hey, look, it's this, but without redacted all over it now.
That's right.
Yeah.
So this is
no top secret.
Yeah. So this is the battle pass introducing as part of season 1, and then going into here you'll see the season journey, and again, so the season journey is separated into 7 chapters. And like these major chapters. Each of those chapters has a number of objectives inside each of them in order to allow you to progress that chapter.
And you don't have to do all of them?
You don't have to do all of them. You have to do a subset of them in order to
안 돼! 배틀 패스 보상으로 위상화 주면 안 되지.
I think it's really cool. So like objective to objective, you're going to be earning favor drops, which can be used to fuel your battle pass, which we're talking about.
이거 pay to win이야.
But you're also for your chapter completion moments.
배틀 아니야?
Big drops of that favor that's going to be used like an experience point value for your battle pass.
아니지,
you're also
아니지.
getting some like item rewards, and importantly, you're going to be unlocking new legendary
근데
aspects.
뭐가 됐든 간에 저걸 위상을 준다는 거는 결국 디아블로 3식으로 계속 간다는 건데.
Legendary aspects we're adding in the season. If you're playing in the seasonal realm, you can collect that for your Codex of Power by going to the season journey. So it's a great way for you to introduce yourself to some of these new things as you're kind of playing through.
Yeah, I'd love this. Like one of the things that's hard about, for people who know Diablo 3 and its sort of journey.
Hold on, wait. Do you love this?
I love this.
Oh, that actually feels really good to hear.
I love this.
시즌 여정을 그대로 가져간다는 것은 좀 이해 안 된다.
I like the fact that the subset aspect of it, because I know there are certain things. I'll pick a stupid example. It's like maybe I hate sellers for some reason. I'm a seller hater. And so I never want to complete a seller. Then the fact that I can advance chapter 1 to go to chapter 2 without ever doing what lurks below, I think that's great, because that's like I find you get into situations. I have other games where they're like, you must do this thing that you really don't want to do in order to progress. And the fact that I don't have to do that here, that I can choose a subset of things to continue my progress, I think is really smart.
Yeah, I think it's really good to hear. It's one of the things we really want to do is make sure that like the base example.
아니도야 뭐 시즌마다 이제 풀리겠지 않아?
Players use our fields of hatred as opportunities to kind of like progress their characters instead of the season, but we don't, and we want to include that
which is
in
the
season
PvP
journey, which is the PvP content in the game. But we don't want to make that like a requirement that you must go do this content in order to progress your season journey. We want to give players the option to do this if they choose.
One thing I do want to call out here as well with the season journey, and I think you're going to call it out in some other places, is that it can be confusing to players initially that you go to this battle pass screen, you click on the season journey button. Do I have to buy the battle pass to get this? No. Everyone has access to the season journey. This is a base feature that everybody is engaging with. Actually, everybody has access to the battle pass too. You're engaging with, even if you never pay a cent, you are engaging with the battle pass. You're getting free stuff.
In the seasonal realm.
In the seasonal realm. Yes. Ron always remind me to say that. In the seasonal realm.
챕터를 깨면 10만 원 위상을 줄지는 그건 아마 직업마다 다를 가능성이 커요.
There's no battle pass if you're not in the season.
Right. Yeah, that's absolutely correct. So yeah, that's essentially the way the season journey works.
직업마다 쓸만한 거 주는 애들도 있을 거고 개똥 같은 거 주는 애들도 있을 거고 직업마다 아마 다를 거야.
Towards the end of that path. So
공통위상은
engage with it and for us to continue to support.
공용위상이 쓰레기가 너무 많아. 그나마 쓰이는 게
grants you a lot of
방어도
favor to
올라가는
go
거.
towards your battle pass, but you also earn favor just out in the world killing stuff.
That's right. Anything that's like killing monsters, completing like whispers and dungeons and things, like all of these things will be earning you favor as you kind of play through the season.
Right.
Anything that's getting you experience points is your chance to get that favor.
어스러움 주겠냐?
So if you have never played the campaign yet, like you're about to buy the game for the first time with the season, for example,
right?
I'll be like, okay, I'm going to roll a seasonal character. I'm going to play the campaign. The fact that while I'm playing the campaign, I'm killing stuff, and I'm still earning favor. Like this stuff is still sort of progressing in the background, right? In
That's
terms
absolutely
of,
correct.
I just won't run into any. I won't run into any malignant until I finish the campaign.
That's absolutely right. But you will, as you play, if you make a new character, to your point, Rod, on the seasonal realm, and you're playing through the campaign, you will be earning favor as you're killing monsters and doing things during the campaign. But a lot of those, and you can also progress your season journey, but some of those objectives might require you to go and interact with season features that aren't available until after you finish the events of the Diablo 4 main campaign.
And that's probably one of the big things to be clear about. I know we're going to talk about the transition later, but in terms of getting access to the mechanic, the idea of talking to Corman, capturing malignant hearts, having rings with colored socket or jewelry with colored sockets, that stuff all takes place post-campaign.
That's correct.
And so if you haven't beat the campaign yet, you're not going to run into these seasonal mechanics.
Yeah, you won't fight malignant creatures, for example, while you're going through the campaign.
그것도 몰라요.
On the seasonal realm, but you will shortly thereafter. So one of the things you can do, and I know we're going to
그런
talk about
걸로
this, and we keep saying
패시브가
we're going to talk about
발동할지
this, and then we
않을지
talk about it
어떻게
anyway. But like, so I would say, like, you know, one
아까
thing you
그게
get ready for the season
번개 나가는
is
보석이었잖아.
your campaign.
그래서 그게 소소한테 더
Jump in,
유리할지
choose to skip campaign,
아니면 다른
choose to
직업들이
seasonal
다
character,
똑같이
and dive right into the
공통적으로
seasonal
쓸지
story
아직
and
몰라.
content. I mean,
알 수가
And that's
없어.
forevermore. That's one thing we tried to say is that once you
그냥
complete the campaign,
요것만 알려줄 테니까 니들끼리 마음대로 상상 회로를 행복의 회로를 돌려라 이건데 정보가 너무 없긴 해.
You can skip campaign and start off in Kyovashad level 1 off. Well, and you know,
not always Kyovashad, but yes.
Is that the only thing that we
시즌
can
1
do
스타터는 아직 못 정하고 결국 18일날 패치 노트를 봐야 돼요.
So you have favor flowing because you're playing.
아직 너무 시간 안 준다.
Because you're doing your season journey objectives, you're getting even
and
more.
I was going to say you're getting more, and the favor is
패치
really flowing because I'm
이틀 전에
completing
알려주는
season
건 좀
journey
너무
objectives.
느려.
So that favor is feeding into your progress on the battle pass, whether you've chosen to just have the free battle pass or whether you've chosen to upgrade it to a premium battle pass. Correct?
That's absolutely correct.
So can we go back to the screen because I think it's one of the things. What we highlight here is part of the thing is kind of a, you know, we use the term. Why would I want to complete the battle pass? One of the reasons you would want to complete the battle pass is you could look like this. And by completing the battle pass in terms of the mount armor, the armor that the characters are wearing, and so. Did you want to talk a little bit about?
Yeah,
kind of
I mean, so one of the things that's really cool about a lot of the items in the battle pass. There are these really exciting like armors to chase for the characters. There are like fun new emotes to go chase for different classes, and we have even things like the like what we're showing off here, like the Artisan's Tunic. We have some things that are like these. And this is actually one of our free cosmetics. Actually, is this the things are like a little bit more fancy that we can use to kind of like role play different kind of themes out for your characters, just give you more options. And we have like our bigger stuff like this. Like this is like the Awoken Cold Iron stuff. Is like some of like the real chase armor cosmetics that exist at the end of the
왜 드루 뜨자마자 바로 넘기냐?
Like when you notice the role-playing armor, like the artisan tunic or the helmet, is that one of the big things about the battle pass is that unlike the
화들짝 놀라서 넘기는데?
all the cosmetics are class agnostic. So why we have a preview for all 5 classes, so you can see what it looks like on a barbarian, what it looks like on a druid, what it looks like on a necromancer, and those sorts of things. And that's one of the nice things about the battle pass is everything you're earning on the battle pass, class agnostic.
Yeah, for those transmogs.
The exception is the transmog weapons. There are transmog weapons on there that are class specific, just because classes can only use certain weapons.
Yeah.
So if your class can equip that weapon, then you have access to it. Just to reinforce, I think it was already expressed, but there are lots of free things on the battle pass. If you pay to upgrade it to the premium battle pass, what you're getting access to are a bunch of additional cosmetic things. So the only thing you're getting access to by paying is that additional cosmetic unlock. So there's really, really cool stuff, some on the early end, and then especially on the tail end of it, that's what you're buying into. But the free version...
keep going. I'm getting ready to transition.
Okay. The free version...
I know where I want to go after you.
Still
시즌 얘기보다 배틀 패스 얘기가 더 긴 게...
Anything related to... Well, you wanted to talk more about...
저걸로 계속 뽑아 먹어야 되니까 저렇게 사활을 거는
So we're saying
거야.
there's 27 free tiers in the battle pass, and part of those 27 free tiers are
저거를 홍보를 할 수밖에 없어, 저
that you can
사람들은.
get based on the level you are in the game and that you've progressed with favor. And what are those smoldering ashes?
아니 시즌에 좆도 없는 것 같지는 않아요. 뭔가 있긴 있는데 뭔가야 저게 어느 정도로 인게임 내에서 영향을 끼칠지 모르겠어. 감이 안 잡혀.
We'll take those and you'll be able to use those and apply them
정보가
to
너무
seasonal blessings system.
Right.
And here, okay, we can actually finally reveal all of these. So here are the places where, as the player's collecting these ashes, they can invest them here to give all of their characters on the seasonal realm
밑에 저 뻘건 가루는 뭐야?
this advantage will carry through.
뻘건
that
가루는
is like,
뭐냐?
bonus to like XP earned from monster kills, like we call out here, or things like boosting the duration of all elixirs that you're using over the course of the season.
Right, and you can looks like, I'm assuming that, I don't know if it's linear or not, but if I would assume it was linear, I can do it 4 times at 15%, so like 60% duration on elixirs, in terms of that particular, the earn of prolonging.
That's right. Yeah, we want to make this just be an extra little fun little thing for players to chase as they're going through the season to kind of, help them like boost their characters up a little bit more quickly as they kind of get deeper and deeper into progression into the season and give them a few different advantages to play with while they're playing through.
So if I were to max out with my smoldering ashes, earn of prolonging is where I want to invest my smoldering ashes. I can basically take my 30-minute elixir and make it
자세하게 알려줄 수는 없다 이거지 뭐.
So getting that 5% XP boost, maybe for me it's the extra 200 thorns and the 200 armor.
어쨌든
okay, that's really cool.
게임 계속 할 거면은
more opportunities to earn like the
배틀 패스 지르라 이거네.
And these are available to everyone.
세 달 할 수 있냐고 그러는데
because it's part of the free
어떤 패지 게임이든 시즌제 게임 꽉 채워서 하는 게임은 없어요.
They're also limited based on level of the player. So that
그런 게임 있으면 신의 게임이야 진짜.
그런
게임은 지금까지 없었어.
Even though they might get to the tier that says free smoldering ashes,
한
달 하면은
until you get to the level requirement.
졸라 잘 만든 시즌이야.
For example, like the first ash
한 달이면은
battle pass is I think it's tier 8 maybe.
Tier 8.
Yeah, and it has a level 40 character requirement as an example. Just to make it really, really clear, like you will be able to use this in time, but immediately, like you need to continue to progress your character and continue to level up, and then you'll be able to use that accordingly.
Got it.
Yeah.
Okay, so I can kind of do my little summary thing. So basically, what we said, so we have a seasonal theme of the Malignant, which has the mechanic of capturing Malignant hearts and putting it into jewelry.
디아3 처음에 오픈했을 때 몇 달 가고 레저럭션 때 거의 한 2달 이렇게 간 게 진짜 기적 같은 거야. 원래 패지 게임이 그렇게 갈 수가 없어.
Based on our level and our tier in the battle pass, we'll get smoldering ashes. We can use those smoldering ashes to apply a season's blessing, which allows us to use those urns and get sort of perks for during just this season that we've unlocked.
That's correct.
So the free person's experience, if you never want to pay a cent, you are still getting a lot of power out of the season journey and the free
마음에 안
aspects of the free
든다. 저거 좀 더 알려줘야지. 기술이랑 아까 그 다마랑 보석이랑 이런 거.
And then if you want to spend money, just reinforcing that, that's unlocking more.
좀 더 알려줘야지. 그거를 저렇게 하고 치우면은 씨발.
I am planning to pay to unlock them myself, but there's no power that comes from them. They are transmogs. They are not actual items. It's just a transmog you can place on your armor to look cool. They don't actually cause things to light on fire.
Yeah, it's just reinforcing what we had talked about
그리고
before.
저것만 가지고 시즌 컨텐츠라고 하기에는 부족한데 지금.
Anything that if you do pay for a battle pass, all the paid items are going to be cosmetics and for you, it's no pay for power.
And if you bought the deluxe or the ultimate edition,
그러면은 저 커럽티드
to make that a premium battle pass,
저거에 관련된 뭐 보스라도 하나 만들어 주던가.
So then let's talk a little bit about the transitional side of it.
Yeah,
in terms of how I go into this or what happens. So there's a couple of different things. There's like one is like there's a need. So there's a question. I guess we should talk about renown. Like one of the big things that we hear the most about is, hey, I spent a lot of time. I completed all my renown objectives. I got full everything. And now I hear, I have to reroll my character in season. Do I have to go find all the altars of Lilith? Do I have to go all clear the fog of war again?
Yeah, so I know we've talked about this in stream before, but
POE에 뭐 사일러스나 이런 거 맨키로 시즌마다 그런 보스가 있으면 좋긴 하겠다.
Players are going to be able to go basically carry over like all of the fog of war that they've cleared, so everything, all the world they've explored on their characters in each of the zones, like in the Fractured Peaks and Scotsland and such. All of that to carry over, as well as all the renown you have earned from all of that.
Okay, so can we bring up the screen? So basically where we see areas discovered.
Yeah.
Let's say I've actually, we'll say this is this person.
Yeah.
So right now they've got 30 areas discovered, which is worth 150 renown.
Right.
So what's going to happen is in the season, I'm going to have 30 areas clear inside of Kyrgyzstan, and I will have 150 renown already in the bank. And it will have unlocked whatever 150 renown will have unlocked.
Absolutely right. Yep, absolutely right. So you're going to have that, and you're also going to have already collected all of your altars of Lilith that you've got from your partner account.
So the same thing here. So I will have 12 will be appearing on my map immediately, and I will have 120 renown in the bank with my other 100. So I'll have
재단
270
지도
now
정도까지가 난
already
맞다고 봐.
waiting for me to claim.
솔직히 던전이랑 사이드캐 정도는 해야지.
So these are advantages.
저건 어느 정도 협의할 필요가 있다고 봐요.
Look at like all the renown you can collect from
나는 딱
from discovering all the areas.
지도까지도 바라지도 않고 재단만 안 찍었으면
It's going to get
좋겠어.
you in each of the zones. Basically. Through the first
난
two tiers,
재단만
all
안
the way
찍었으면
through the third tier for each of the zones for renown. So you get to start with like if you start at level 1 on day 1 of the new season with a brand new character.
재단은 킵해주는 게 아니라
with your previous
재단을 찍어놓은 그 명망 점수는 그대로 줘야지. 그 점수를 안 준 상태로 그거 유지시켜주면 의미가 없는 거야. 점수로 줘야 돼. 점수로.
Absolutely. You just claim those things down. You're good to go for the season.
And your map reveal.
And your map
and
reveal.
Your map reveal.
So that goes back to what Tim was teeing up earlier. When we think about, hey, I'm excited about the season. I want to prepare for it. I've got, what is it? It's the 6th today?
Today's the 6th.
Okay,
Yes.
so I have 14 days.
14
I have
days.
2 weeks. What should I be doing in these next 2 weeks? And so one was
탭이 생겼는데 거기 누르면 뭐 있는데요?
Complete the campaign.
Fight the malignant. But now, like, if you had places to go to, like, dig deep on clearing the fog and dig deep on finding the altars, because those are going to carry into the season.
Yeah, all that stuff will carry over with you.
좀 이따 눌러보자.
Okay, so then, Tim, how do I think about, I've got 5, 6 alts, my characters right now in the Eternal Realm. We're talking about carrying over progress based on how do I ensure that the progress, like the most progress character, it actually impacts my seasonal character? Like,
yeah, Tim, tell us.
It's a great question. For various technical implementation reasons, we do actually need you to log in on existing characters to kind of self-migrate some of your data with this. So this is something that we implemented based on player feedback that we got. So we put it in as quickly as we could. It is in for season 1, but what we need you to do once season 1 comes out, actually once the patch comes out, you don't have to wait until July 20th. You can do this on July 18th, which is when the patch goes live. You should log in with characters that have the most progress. If you have a single character you played, or if you have one character that, hey, on this one character I unlocked all the altars and cleared all the fog of war, awesome. You just have to log in with that person. When you log in with that character, all of that progress is going to be propagated across your entire account. It'll be saved as, hey, this is just unlocked for your whole account now. At that point, any character you log on, either one of your existing alts or any new character you make in seasons will now have all of that progress. So you have to do it once, but after you've done that, it is now saved to your account. And just to reinforce, the experience you're going to have if you have unlocked all of these things, it takes a little bit of work, but if you've unlocked all of that, when you start that new seasonal character, wow, is that a lot of power. You are going to level pretty fast, because extra 5 skill points, extra 5 potions, you are ridiculously overpowered when you first start playing. Like, that is a lot of extra power.
It will accelerate you a little bit as you start.
And because that is a big caveat, like, we will be reminding everyone. I'm going to be, like, literally screaming from the rooftops. I know we will be posting our patch notes on, would that come out for the patch on the 18th, just to remind people that, yes, log into your characters beforehand. Even if you log in, like, if you jump into the season later on, you can log into those characters with the most amount of progress.
Well, that's the two things we should, because there'll probably be questions, but one is, I don't do that for whatever. I go on vacation, I'm not playing, I come back, the season started. I can still log in my Eternal Realm character and have all
중요한 거는 그 나오는 고유템이냐 안 나오는 고유템이냐 그게
oh, you only have
중요한
18
건데.
to 20 to get it those 2 days.
It's there forever. Functionally, from this point forward, anytime you ever log in on a character, it will just check like, hey, does this character have any progress that's not already credited on your account? Cool, I'm now crediting it to your account.
Right. And so and that's for the seasonal. So if I think about the Eternal Realm, like for example, my Necromancer has everything. I've got the full bar on renown on all 5. Not humble bragging. I'm just that's the point of fact. Not humble bragging.
Absolutely. So for the next 5 minutes, we're going to talk about
this. So
let's
talk about how good my Necromancer is. No, but all I'm saying is I have a Sorc that has not had the same level of progress in the world. So after the 18th, when I log in my Necro and all that progress gets put to my account. When I go to log in my Sorc
그
next,
고유템이나 이게 전설주장이 적은 게 저 보석, 아까 보였던 그 보석으로 뭔가 메꿀 수 있느냐 이게 중요하거든. 기다려봐, 아직 돌리지 말아봐. 18일날 봐야 돼. 우리는 아직 너무 몰라 이거를.
Like one has done everything in the fracture peaks, has uncovered everything in the fracture peaks, and has uncovered like all the altars level both. You get another character who's gotten everything in Scott's Glen, who's unlocked like all the fog of war, has found all the altars Lilith. If I log in on my Fractured Peaks character, and just by doing that, all of that credit will now be transferred to my Skazglen character. When I log into my Skazglen character, all of that credit will be applied to my Fractured Peace characters. At that point, all of the credit of the progress I made on either of those characters has been propagated to the entire.
보석이 30종이면은
it becomes an and.
It's not just like it's and.
솔직히
It's not like
말하면은
the one account that
그
has the
중에
most stuff.
20개는 쓸모가 없는
You want to log into
꽝이야.
every account that might have like tons of progress that they've made
20개는
in different
쓸모가 없는
directions.
꽝이고
And I think to just again, hey, let's talk about managing
5개
expectations.
정도가 사람들이
Some of
선호하는
you
그런
might
보일
be saying
가능성이
like,
커요.
oh, that sounds a little clunky. And I think the
나머지
point
5개는
that
좀
Tim was trying to
애매한.
make was,
나오면은 그래도 이건 쓸 수
hey,
있어라면서 좋아할 만한 보석.
prior to season 1,
나머지가
we had actually
사람들이
talked
찾는
about that
보석.
you wouldn't
보통
have
그런
any renown
식이야.
progress carryover. You would have to go find the altars of Lilith. You would have to go clear the fog of war.
스킬 및
Like the
정복자
original
모드 무료
plan
리셋하는
when
두루마리는
launching the game or
시즌의 보상으로
prior to launching the game. The original plan there
제공됩니다.
was no transition of state from Eternal Realm to Seasonal Realm as part of this. And so hearing the player feedback as we talked about seasons and hearing the response that we got about what, I have to find all the altars again? What, I have to clear the map again? And wanting to make sure that we were listening to the players, we put in a system that allowed us to do that, but it is not the most smoothest, most sophisticated because we were doing it under very tight time constraints as quickly as possible.
Hey, did you want it done?
Yeah,
did you want it done?
It's
the answer is
I'm
yes.
just saying. I'm just saying. Like that wasn't the design from the start was not to do this. Log in a character on the 18th and make it pass.
Yeah,
That's what we had to do to make it happen for season 1.
And this was based off of obviously player feedback that we've gotten since launch. So
못하지
this is us
소포를
implementing
어떻게 해
it
소포를?
quickly to address the feedback that you guys have been giving. And then on top of that, I like a huge shout out to our engineers for getting this all implemented before we actually jump into the season.
Much like the Nightmare Dungeon teleport.
Exactly.
Like, miracles can happen and very quickly. So
a lot of these actually end up with
있어서 학고랑 헛고랑 별 차이 없는데 니들 왜 학고 안 함 그러면은 별 차이 없는데 왜 학고 안 함?
And then there's okay, well, what about to make it
나도 거래 같은 거 해보고 싶어.
If you told me you wanted to do this X months ago, I could have done it way easier because we implemented it completely.
오기 싫으니까.
So yeah, we make it work,
사실 나도
but
모으기
sometimes
싫어.
the fact that you have to log in to get the progress propagated, we would have made it a smoother version if we knew
나도
it
모으기
was
싫어.
go.
All right, like zoom in on me. Zoom in on me.
Come closer.
Let's do that. Okay, it's not gonna happen. There it is. Okay, yeah, all right. It's a live game. We know we need to it's a live game. We know we are looking at trying to make improvements based on the feedback that we're getting from players. We're playing the game ourselves, and we're kind of seeing how everything is really feeling as it's all coming together with a giant audience of players playing and enjoying the game. We want to make sure that we are making the right changes as quickly as we can for the community.
알맹이가 아예 없진 않죠. 만만 알맹이 이제 씨발 이런 거 있으면 살짝 보여주고 다시 숙인 거지. 야 여기 있어 이거 하고 딱 보여주고 만 거지.
We talked about gems last time and things we want to do there.
다 보여줬으면 좋겠는데
some of them are a
딱
lot more
보여주고
challenging
숨겼어 바로.
technically to do than others, but we are rapidly moving on as many changes as we can because we are fervently trying to make the very best version of Diablo 4 possible in the fastest time frame that we can to deliver to the player base because. We're players too. We also want the same things.
아니 지금 근데 아껴 상황이 아닌 게 이미 유저 이탈이나 이걸 못 막아 블리자드가.
Our designers and our producers and the staff been
다 보여줘도 될 것 같은데 굳이 저거를 맛만 보여줘야 되나?
We are trying to make sure that we are delivering a really, really high quality experience to players on a regular basis. So just stick with us. Keep giving us that feedback. We're going to keep making adjustments as we go.
솔직히 아직 제작 중이. 아저씨 지금 쌍꺼풀
Whenever Joe would like to make a change based on feedback.
필요해 보이는 이유는 그것 때문인가?
Wherever he reads it, the first version is always, can we do this immediately? That is always the first request. Never like, hey, let's get this in eventually. When it makes sense and when it's comfortable. No, it's always, could we do this right now? Is it possible for us to do this right now? So
I want to
that's
move
the first version.
I want to move the Overton window where I just expect everything to be done in 6 seconds.
But this is the thing about about doing it safely. Like I think one of the sort of the junior mistakes some people can make is this idea of like time is only what it takes to implement, and it's not. It's time is also what it takes to test and make sure that it's robust and stable. And so that's one of the things that like when you look at we have a follow the sun QA organization around the world, and that's what allows us to do, I don't know, we're up to 15, 16 hot fixes or more now.
Yeah.
And our big client patches is that ability of not only can we get we have some heroic engineers who can turn stuff around very quickly, but we also have some heroic QA teams around the world who are helping us make sure that when we make these changes, we're doing it in a safe way. So, but I appreciate your patience on that. And so this is exciting. Season 1, Season of the Malignant.
Yes. It's finally here.
라이브 왜 한 거냐 이럴 거면 이러는데
Yeah,
왜 보여주긴
It's not
보여줬어.
technically here for you all, but soon, very soon.
보여주긴 보여줬는데 지금 화난 민심을 저걸로 다 덮을 수 있냐라고 하면은 저는 글쎄요라고 얘기할 것 같아요.
Coming in with season 1. If Tiffany Watt were here, who was on our campfire chat before, she categorized our 103 patch as chonky.
Right.
I will categorize in Tiffany Watt's words as super chonky for season 1. It actually is
그렇다고 마냥 실망할 건 아닌 게
or chonkster, as
흥미롭긴
Tim
해요.
called
아까
it.
그
I think we were
보석이랑
chonkers. So we're going to pull up the
솔직히
Wikipedia entry and actually go through it.
해지 줍는 입장에서는 좀 흥미로운 요소긴 하지.
Yeah, it is very big. So we will have notes up for that. And again, players can prepare for season 1 by completing the campaign for sure.
Do the campaign,
and making
clear
sure,
fog of war.
clear fog of war, discover the map, and of course get all your altars. So lots to come for Diablo 4. And then again, we also have just more improvements that will be in that patch. What class our balance changes to bug fixes to you name it. I can go on. There's even some reward changes coming for some Nightmare and Helltide related activities as well, some in-game activities, because I've been hearing some feedback regarding like, hey, it'd be great if we can get like maybe better rewards with some of these activities, and so I know some of those changes are coming in that actual update as well. But I know we want to do Q&A.
We do.
Yeah. And this is a live stream, by the way.
Yeah.
So I know we get sometimes people are like, I don't know if this is live. No, this is totally live. So we're actually going to be bringing in. We're actually going to kick off Rod because we're done with him. No, I'm just kidding. Rod is actually
I'm
just
actually going to go and annoy you from the side.
I know. It's the worst. Rod's going to jump over here. We're actually going to bring back in Chris and Ryan from the Immortal team. Who will be jumping in here.
I think you're supposed to open
솔직히
that.
말하면은 누가 조기 출시예요.
I didn't do my job.
Rod had one
디아블로는
job
조기 출시가
and
맞아.
failed to do it.
I failed to open the chair.
So we're going to bring these guys in. I know we have
한 1-2년 더
questions,
묶어서
queued
나왔어야
up
돼.
from different people.
아 뭐야 또
in
임모탈
Twitch
얘기야?
chat. So if you guys have questions, of course, feel free to drop in questions and
Chris is
everything.
not quite in. You need to switch clearly.
Oh, I need to scooch too
Scooch a
because
little
I think
bit over.
I'm
Yeah, I think
like,
we scooch a little bit more.
Live television.
we're scooching live.
And we're scooching, live scooching, ladies
So
and
here's the
gentlemen.
problem. We also the
Like all
production
kinds of
team hates me.
cables beneath us.
I want to give a shout out to our production group behind here because I literally go like, oh, we're only gonna have like 2 people, and then we continue to add people, and then Rod wanted to be in it yesterday. So now suddenly we're up to like 20 people, and this room can't hold this many people. So I apologize. They are angels, and they deal with me. But we do have some questions, and I will be kind of going back and forth in between both of them. But we do. Oh, perfect. We do have some questions up here. Someone's also calling me.
씨발 자막을 어떻게 미리 준비해? 나 말도 안 되는 소리 하라고 있어.
Quick
이게
question.
무슨
Any
라이브
updates
Q&A야?
This is for D4 specifically. Any
무슨 자막을
updates
미리
around
준비해놔?
respecting characters?
Yeah, so right now I think that there's a few different concerns we're hearing from the community. There's the general cost of respecting characters, and then there is at various stages of the game.
녹박이 아니라 미리 저거 질문 뽑아 놓은 거지. 맞춤형
particularly when you're
질문으로.
deeper into the Paragon system, like that takes a lot of effort. So we have longer term plans on the user experience side, like on the menu side. Things we want to do to improve the flow of allowing players to respect their characters. These are things we're actively investigating. We have designs for things we're looking to add into seasons in the future, but we don't have a date that we're committing to today for that. And in terms of the actual price of that, we're evaluating things on like the gold economy, and we're taking a look at like what players are doing on a regular basis. We're not making any fundamental structural changes to today at this time, but we are because we're satisfied with where things feel like.
이제 액세서리 해골을 박는 것보다
we'll be adding though is
다른 보석을 받는 게 이득이 될 가능성이 크죠.
The season journey at the end.
진짜 그냥 보석 말고
the Scroll of Amnesia.
새로 나오는 신규 보석 말고 기존의 보석을 박아야 된다. 그러면 그 게임은 존만 게임입니다.
For no gold cost at all. So
존만
these would be like
게임이에요.
pretty fun things to bring back with you to the Eternal Realm if you want to use for future playthroughs or for that character or another character. So we want to make sure that we're like slowly adding a few of these as the
슬롯이 다른 식이라고? 해골을 박은 상태에서 신규 보석을 또 박을 수 있는 거야?
Everything. It's all your skills, all your.
그럴 거면 군형을 2개를 뚫어놔야지. 아까 하나밖에 없던데?
Awesome. For Immortal, we have a question from, I'm reading everyone's names, 8 Miles West. How much will the Blood Knight cost? I know we covered this early on, but if you guys want to reiterate.
The Blood Knight will cost nothing. The Blood Knight is free.
It's free. So if you're a new Immortal player, or you're a existing Immortal player, you can literally jump in.
오빠 거기 구멍 아니야가 아니라 지금
on day one.
구멍이
which is
하나야
on
두
July
개야
13th.
그러니까.
So and of course you can play through the campaign, and we had mentioned that has essentially custom VO and everything associated with it.
That's right.
For D4, I should be more prepared with these.
일단 뭐다 채우긴 채워야지.
That's a safe statement all the time. Is you should be more
We have
prepared.
Rod judging me off screen right here, and I'm just like, awesome.
Perfect. Little side story real quick. So we have a thing in design called design armor, where like as you're about to like talk about an idea with someone, you're like, this might be a really bad idea, but
하라고
that's you
모두
putting up your
비슷한
shield. This is my
아이템은
design armor.
당연히
I
해줘야
know
되는
this might be
거고.
really, really bad, but we're talking about it anyway. So yes, I should probably.
그걸로 생생내면 안 돼요. 그거는 유저들 편의성은 무조건 개선돼야 되는
Question
거고.
from
지금 게임하면서 너무 불편해.
You committed to saying the names.
I know I did.
We don't want anyone to suggest that these are not good questions.
Yeah, from Fig Larna, will seasonal mechanics be added
그걸로
to
생생내면 안
the
돼.
Eternal Realm after the season ends? I think that's something we didn't actually clarify fairly well.
That is a great question that actually gets asked internally as well a lot. Like, hey, this is awesome. Are we going to keep it around forever? Initially, no. Like, initially, the version of the malignant mechanics that you're seeing are not planned to show up in the Eternal Realm. However, we are reserving the right as developers that if we see something cool and we think, wow, this is just fantastic, this should just be part of the game, that we will just make it part of the game. So it is absolutely an option. Some mechanics you might see in future seasons might be that way right away. We might be planning that, hey, this will show up in the Eternal Realm right away. Others will evaluate them as we play them and then see if this is working really well. This is something that we want to integrate with the Eternal version of the game.
Yeah, I want to stay on this just 1 second longer. That's not to suggest that we're not going to be, as part of seasons, intentionally using those update opportunities to create content for the base game, like stuff that will persist beyond the end of the season. But we really do want to hone in on the idea that we're like, Malignant Hearts are very powerful, as we talked about before. They're really, really cool. They're very exciting. We can't add something exciting like that every season if it's expected to all last, because the game's going to be a complete mess.
Right.
So we're not going to do that. What we would end up needing to do is all of those things would be extremely incremental in terms of what they offered to the players over the course of time. And it would make the game extraordinarily dense.
아저씨 허벅지 되게 굵다.
And to understand.
We know that there's opportunities to extend things like add more endgame features. We know that there's more content that we want to add to the game in general that like everybody's going to need forever, and we're going to be looking at those opportunities as we go. But things like Malignant Hearts, we don't want to have something of that size in Season 1, then add something of similar size in Season 2, and then Season 3 and Season 4, because the game is going to get extremely dense and difficult for players to really navigate. We want to be able to like take these things away, introduce new ideas, but having known what worked really, really well with Malignant Hearts and what stuff we could maybe have improved upon, we get to take all of those ideas forward.
It's also part of the cool factor of the season is that when you're going in, these Malignant Hearts, it's there for the season. So even let's take
대단한 게 나올 거라고
the player
나는
that,
솔직히
let's say,
지금
doesn't like to play all except of the same class. I just love playing
그냥 막
Barbarian.
지금
And, you know,
마냥
I
깔 그건
have 3
아니야.
different Barbarians already on Eternal because it's the perfect class.
player, and all you play is rogues.
지금 기대할 것도 없고 실망할
There
것도
might be a lot
없고.
of those too. But let's say a barbarian, that's my hypothetical, I'm sticking with it. So I'm a barbarian lover and I've made all these barbarians. Season 1 is still an exciting time to make a new barbarian because we have all of these new malignant powers that allow you to make radically new builds that are completely different from barbarians you played in the past. Your endgame is going to be very different. So that excitement goes away.
화내려고
Like,
왔으니까
oh, all of these
또
powers
화가 난
just
거는
exist in
맞게
the
저도
game
화난
forever. The whole
사람이긴
idea is that,
한데
no, every season is
아직까지는
a
몰라요
fresh new
이거를.
experience that gives you builds that did not exist previously. So the idea is some of that stuff is always designed to go away.
So Joe, I mean, one of the things.
This is Rod off camera speaking.
Rod off camera. Hey, voice
right.
Joe,
yes.
maybe speak to the fact that everybody starts at the same place.
너무 안 보여줬지
so
대신.
people aren't like a year behind when they go to play Season 4.
Yeah, that's an important part of this as well. One of the reasons we really like the idea of letting players start back fresh and have like an economy reset, players really jumping back in the experience at level 1 with characters, is it allows us to focus on making sure the entirety of that journey is really engaging and exciting for players to go through. And we want to make sure, like by the end of the first session, for example, like you're getting exposed to like the new features and content available that we're introducing in that season. That everything feels like it's balanced in such a way the players can really enjoy the new things that we're adding in the way that they're kind of intelligently mixed with the rest of the features in the game itself. So that like that we think that is part of what makes the Diablo game a Diablo game anyway. It's like making a new character, getting those item drops, like building up towards the end. With regards to like the way that we decided to conduct our efforts in seasons for Diablo 4, we think this is a really like the prime example of the way that we can make this work.
But I wanted you to hit on the point, the fact that if somebody buys the game,
yeah, they're not like fundamentally behind.
yeah, if somebody,
before.
like, I'm gonna mess with the camera people. Can you? You can't even do it, can you? You can't even get there. All we can do is I can just have my talking stuff. Oh, hey, what's going on? The thing that we're talking about is that we want again the game is a lot.
야, 보석 옵션 좀 보여주면 안 되냐? 이거 그냥 배틀패스 광고잖아. POE 영상 패스 오브 액자일 신규 시즌.
뭔가들 이상하게 생각하는 것 같은데 애초에 있어야 할 시스템인데 미완성 게임을 부랴부랴 패치하는 건데 뭘 기대하는
원래 신규 티저 영상이라면 이런 식이야. 이건 티저구나. 좀 길게 나온 거 없냐? 이거 말고 카카오 게임 배틀그라운드. 아씨, 여기 너무 많아가지고. 우마무스 매플티 더비. 공식 트레일러 이런 거.
One of many.
이거 좀 끄자 이제. 설정. 접근성. 보통 신규 리그라고 하면은 이런 식으로 뭔가 좀 보여주는 게 있어야 되는데.
My kind walked the molten surface.
이거는 시네마틱으로 할 필요도 없잖아. 그냥 인게임으로 보여도 되잖아.
Now we seek a champion.
중소기업에서도 이렇게 뭔가를 보여주려고 하고 하는데.
You must endure the heat of
근데
the
영상이
crucible.
조만간 나올 거예요. 이거는 캠프파이어고 그런 식으로 뭐 리그 영상을 뽑아내겠지.
Weapons unlike any Raycast has ever seen.
이런 식으로 이번 리그는 뭐 저런 식이구나 뭐 이렇게 감을 잡을 수 있는 뭔가 정보를 줘야 되는데.
Take up the power of the Titans and bring obliteration.
몰라, 나는 POE 안 하니까. 그렇게 막 신규 스킬 같은 것도 한번 보여주고. 추워. 하나 저거 해보면 어렵진 않아. 그냥 빡세 보이는 거야.
A creeping black fungus that feeds on the will of its hosts. Pulsating with toxic blood, too dangerous to
야,
touch.
아니라고.
Dangerous to ignore. We must drain the ichor of this dark.
아니라고, 저거 아니라고.
Its mindless husks will protect its core. So I build weapons. Towers which conjure flames, chill the air, move the earth. Even so, I need your might. And to the mighty go the spoils. The source of this blight is out there. Its black tendrils reaching for us. We will seek it out and purge it.
왜 이렇게 기냐, 영상. 지금 저게 너무 없어, 정보가. 저런 식으로 하면은 좀 감이 없는 거야. 사람들은 지금 화나 있는데 좀 더 보여줘야 됐다고 생각해요 저는. 조금 뭐 더 뭔가 볼거리나 힌트라나 뭐 이런 것들 좀 줬으면 좋겠는데. 아까 우리가 본 게 뭐였지? 보석이? 치명타시 뭐 번개 찌짐이 나가는 그거였나? 뭐 재밌을 것 같긴 해. 이 히트수 많은 애들 같은 경우는 괜찮을 것 같기도 한데. 근데 우리가 뭐 저걸 가지고 토론할 떡밥도 없어.
번역기. 치명타 공격은 적에게 초동한 전기를 충전하여 그들과 충전된 다른 적들 사이에 번개를 일으켜 64의 번개 피해를 입힙니다.
근데 솔직히 말하면은 저것도 냉법으로 쓸 거 아니야 시발. 법사 같은 애들은 안 그래? 지금 진행되는 게임에서 신선함이 뭐 바뀔 것 같지는 않다 뭐 이렇게 얘기하시는데 저것만 있어도 게임이 많이 바뀌긴 바뀔 거예요. 많이 바뀔 겁니다. 근데 저걸 바꾸려면은 지금 조져버린 그 메커니즘 착취랑 이거부터 빨리 어떻게 해야지 저걸 다양한 빌드에서 사용을 하고 연구를 하고 한단 말이야. 결국 지금 스템이랑 똑같은 빌드로 다음 씬을 동일하게 한다고 하면은 재미가 반감이 되지. 결국 저 버섯도 지금 잘 나가는 빌드 애들만 또 쓸 거고, 저 버섯 하나로 그 취향 메커니즘을 뒤집고 뭐 할 수 있는 빌드가 나온다. 저는 또 그렇게 보지는 않거든요. 그 정도로 막 깊이 있는 감이나 그게 있었으면 지금 이 사단이 안 났지. 아, 창고 얘기하고 있어? 아유, 씨, 나 껐는데? 말 좀 볼까?
Obviously free up a lot of
Yeah,
stash
there's
space
lots
for
of different ways
users
to kind
and
of
stuff
like
like that.
slice away at this problem. That's like an example of what we're trying to do to start trying to mitigate this a bit.
와, 그래도 이딴 거를 지금 85,000명이 보고
Jim,
있는 거
the Q
보면
guy, asked how much time between seasons. Still wants to level up his main. So in between seasons, obviously, there is we had talked about seasons lasting 3 months.
다 욕하면서 손가락질 하면서 씨발 이거를 다 보고 있다는 게.
12 weeks to complete your season.
Correct. Yeah. So you guys will hear.
Based on the calendar dates, right?
아니
Yeah,
참고
so you guys
기다려가
will
아니라
hear,
우리는
like,
또 새로 죽을 게 생겼는데 씨발
or,
창고를 안
like,
주면 어떻게
once we hit that 3-month
기다려?
period, you'll start to hear.
아니 새로 보석도 주어야 되는데 그건 어디다 담아?
And then this one, I guess for Rod, are there any plans on new classes coming to Diablo 4? We've just heard about the Blood Knight, so they're now.
We have nothing to announce at this time.
Oh wow, that was very strange.
Yeah, Rod sitting off camera can answer that perfectly. So yeah, that I think we're gonna wrap it here for today. Obviously, we talked a lot about all the stuff with Diablo Immortal for the Blood Knight coming out on July 13th. We also have for Diablo 4 Season 1, Season of the Malignant, which is going to be the patch will be on July 18th, and then the actual season starts on July 20th. We do actually have 2 blogs, one on DiabloImmortal.com and one on Diablo4.com. They'll be going live either right now or immediately after this live stream. They'll have all the details and information that we just talked about here on the stream. Yeah, lots of stuff coming up here for Diablo.
Patch this afternoon.
Oh yes, and there's a patch this afternoon. You'll be seeing. Oh, I forgot. That's why I have to do it immediately after the stream. I was trying to get out of it, guys. But we will have a patch. We'll have patch notes up on Diablo4.com. We have a patch article that will actually note, and we'll be updating people when that patch does hit. It is a client patch. It will require a download. It will be on all platforms. And yeah, lots of Diablo stuff coming up here in the next few weeks.
아니 어차피
Really excited.
게임 하는 사람들
Happy
다
Diablo
틀딱들이라서 그냥
Tons
돈
of stuff
주고 하는
coming
게
up. I know we
편하다고
will
느끼는
be
사람들이
rating two
많아. 저거.
Diablo content creators immediately after this stream. One on Twitch, which is Barricade, and the
아니,
other
한
one on
칸당 만
YouTube,
원이어도
which is
살 것 같아.
Killswitch. So make sure to tune into those guys. And thank you guys so much. Thanks for tuning in to the Diablo Developer Update live stream, and from everyone here on the Diablo team, we hope you have a wonderful weekend.
Thanks, everybody.
와 근데 그 우리가 많이 예상했던 게 배틀 패스 시즌 패스에 창고 하나 추가되는 거 있을 거라고 했는데 그것조차 없다는 거야 지금? 아니지 우리 창고 저걸로 해야 되는 거 아니지 게임? 와. 그러니까 지금 이거를 게임을 뒤집을 그런 그게 안 돼. 시간이 없다는 거야. 결국 거기까지 가려고 하면 힘든가? 창고 늘리는 게? 내가 개발이랑 이쪽을 아예 모르니까 그거 늘려주는 게 그렇게 힘든가? 아니야 개발자 프라이드로 그 철학이 아니라 그건 못 해주는 것 같아 지금 봤을 때는. 라이브 정리한 거 한번 보자. 이거는 희소식이 아니죠? 어차피 쓰는 유니크는 이렇게 되면 드루드나 좋아하지. 드루이드나 다른 직업들은 별로 좋아하는 그건 아니지. 이건 뭐 좋아할 만한 거고. 이것도 많이 나와야지. 근데 이거는 아이템으로 할 게 아니라 그냥 버튼 하나 딸깍 해가지고 해줘야 되는 거 아닌가?
일단 진정하고 중립기어 박자는 선생님, 차가 지금 절벽으로 굴러가고 있는데 중립기어 박으면 진짜 좋답니다.
아니 근데 그 족 같은 건 족 같은 거고 이거는 궁금하긴 궁금해요. 그래서 중립기어를 박아야 된다는 거야. 우리는 저 보석이나 심장에 대해서 아는 게 없어 아직까지. 저게 어떤 성능을 발휘하고 게임에 어떤 변수를 줄지 아직 몰라요. 원래 시즌이라는 건 그런 거야. 패스 오브 엑자일 잼? 잼 같은 그런 느낌이겠지. 요거가 대단한 게 저렇게 호언장담을 했다는 거는 본래 내가 사용하는 스킬 이상의 효과를 보석이 낼 수도 있다는 것 같기도 해.
새로운 시스템으로 사냥하는 걸 좀 보여주기라도 하던가 그냥 지들끼리
내
고마운
말이
얘기하고 가버렸네 에휴.
애초에 저거 시연 영상 할 때 좀 만렙짜리 캐릭터로 이렇게
역시
보여주던가.
우리 선생님은 긍정적이시군요. 너무 밝은 모습 보기 좋습니다. 선생님.
감사합니다. 그 보석이 그렇게 세다고 얘기해주면은 진짜 막 말도 안 되는 거 있잖아. 그런 거 하나 할 만한 뭔가를 하나 보여줘야 되는데 그것도 아니고 그냥 쪼렙 캐릭터 가지고 선만 가지고 그냥 이거 꽁꽁 하는 거 그걸 보여주면 씨발 우리가 어떡하라는 거야. 아무것도 모르지. 개발자들이 게임을 안 하는 게 아니라 시즌 1이 만들어졌다고 했잖아. 원래 이것까지 아니다. 됐다 이거는.
시즌1 추가 콘텐츠 디자인이 이미 오픈 전에 대다수 확정되어 있는 상태일 거라 참고 추가하는 게 쉽지 않았을 것 같긴 합니다.
그러니까 지금 못 해주는 거야 창고는. 그래서 기다리라고 하는 거고. 밸런스 패치는 7월 18일 패치로 어느 정도 잡아놓은 상태지만 나 이게 제일 무섭다. 이거 시즌 열리기 이틀 전에 알려줄 게 아니라 한 일주일 전에는 그래도 알려줘야지. 그리고 이것도 말이 안 되는 게 왜 자꾸 씨발 시작된 다음에 이거를 자꾸 바꾸려고 하냐고. 지금 다른 애들 스탠에서 지금 이미 이번에 프리시즌 때 곡소리 나는 그 상황을 봤으면서 뭐 심각한 버프나 너프는 없다고 하는데 모르죠. 돼지방송 너파라. 아니 그거는 얘기를 하잖아. 나 돼지방벽 빌드 안 해봤다. 돼지방벽 빌드 안 해봤는데 그렇게 야 저거 너프해야 돼 너무 세 막 그 정도면은 한번 그걸 캐릭터를 키워서 한번 해봐. 테스트 돌려봐. 해봐. 좋은 거 있으면 해. 아 근데 나는 조금 실망스럽긴 하다. 새벽 3시 뭐 외국은 뭐 오전 11시라고 하는데 저렇게 뭐 10만 명 넘는 사람 유튜브까지 하면 사람들 더 많이 봤을 것 같은데 그런 사람들 모아놓고 뭔가 빵 터지는 그런 임팩트 있는 모습을 못 보여준 것 같아서 저게 어떻게 보면 결국 쇼인데 저거는 뭔가 확실한 뭔가를 보여줬어야 됐어. 인모탈 영상은 저거 슈케 나와가지고 막 죽창으로 막 찌르고 막 날아다니면서 막 피로 막 빨아들이고 막 그런 거 보여줬잖아. 우리도 그런 거 보여달라고. 인모탈은 그런 거 보여주는데 왜 시즌 1 거는 그런 거 못 보여주는데. 영양가가 없다 영양가가. 축제일지 장례식일지 이거는 도무지 감이 안 잡히네요. 근데 매력적이긴 하다. 요거는. 룬의 개념이 아니라 PO의 잼의 개념이에요. PO의 잼의 개념. 룬은 아니야, 룬은. 룬은 아니야. 디아의 그거 같지. 균열석이라고 하나? 디아3에? 전설보석? 그래, 도간보석 이런 거. 그거랑 제일 유사하지. 이게 그러니까 조금 엔드 버전의 아이템 위력을 가진 케이지아트를 드랍하기 위해선 정말 강력한 몬스터를 잡아야 한다. 정말 강력한 몬스터가 뭘까? 고단? 시체와리래. 씨발. 이게 지금 우리가 고단을 갈 필요가 없잖아. 파밍의 목적이 없으니까. 고단을 간다는 건 결국 자기 만족 그리고 문양 업글을 더 빠르게 하기 위해서 고단을 가는 건데 거기서 고단을 가서 저 보석이 좋은 게 떨어진다. 그러면 거기에 진짜 의미가 생기는 거지. 고단을 돌 만한 의미가.
근데 무슨 몹이 무슨 옵션 닳고 나오는지는 알려줘야 하는 거 아님? 아니면 하코 유저가 어떻게 도전함?
그거는 걱정하지 마. 학화하는 애들은 그런 거 신경 안 써. 학고 감수성이 좀 있으신가 본데 학화하는 애들은 어쨌든 저기 그런 거 신경 안 쓰고 해. 학코에서 먼저 이렇게 발을 내민다는 게 보통 자기가 모르는 이런 미지의 영역이 있으면은 하던 걸 다 멈추고 학코 유저들은 다 뒷짐을 서고 이렇게 딱 구경하고 있어요. 그러다가 아 씨발 못 참겠다 내가 먼저 가면서 누가 딱 그걸 해. 그러면 이제 그걸 다 뒷짐 딱 풀고 어떻게 하지 하면서 다 봐. 다 봐. 본 다음에 아 나도 이제 좀 발을 내밀어도 되겠다 하면서 같이 따라가. 정리 좀 잘 된 데가 있나요? 뭐 같은 내용일 것 같은데? 뭐 아까 같은 거 똑같은 거잖아. 아 이거 다른 건가? 잠깐 룰이 다른 거구나. B급 아이돌 픽업 업데이트 헬레나 에레니르 안 해요. 아까 이제 누가 얘기해줬는데 이거 찝어가지고 넣으려고 할 때 반지밖에 안 됐대. 이게 요 심장은 다른데 안 박히고 반지밖에 안 박혔대. 모르지 쓰레기 옵인지 아닌지 성능 이거 보여주질 않았으니까 우린 모르지. 아는 거는 치명타 할 때 데미지 들어가는 거 이거밖에 모르는 거지. 뭔지 모른다고 그러니까. 시연 영상을 저따구로 하는 난 진짜 개어이가 없는 게 솔직히 이런 보석 쓸 거면은 좀 타수 많고 치명타 잘 터지는 그런 걸 보여줘야 할 거 아니야. 어? 그 소설 얼음 파편이라도 날렸으면은 좀 보여주는 이펙트나 이거를 우리가 알 수 있을 텐데 선망으로 이걸 하면은 솔직히 아까 치명타 터지긴 터졌냐? 나 그것도 모르겠어. 치명타가 터졌는지 안 터졌는지도 모르겠는데 그거를 좀 보석이 이펙트가 터졌는지 안 터졌는지 어떻게 확인을 해? 아니 새로운 전설 위상은 무조건 시즌 여정에서만 얻을 수 있는 거야? 이거 이후에 추가로는 어떻게 더 구해 그러면? 이거를 한번 다 하면은 그때부터 드랍이 된다 이건가? 힘의 전사만 된다? 왜 시즌 축복은 설명이 없지? 총평을 하자면은 좀 맛이 없네요. 설레기는 하는데 맛이 좀 떨어져. 맛이 없어. 밍밍해.
누가 올린 블리자드 영문 홈페이지에는 최종 보스 스샷이라도 있는데 이거라도 보여주지 참.
그러니까 저런 내용을 굳이 저렇게 사람들 모이게 어그로 끌어가지고 캠프파이어 방송이라고 하면서 저렇게 지들끼리 힐닥거리면서 얘기할 필요가 있나? 그 정도까지는 아니거든? 아니, 북미 감성이 아니라, 이렇게, 야, 뭐야, 봐봐, 우리가 개 쩌는 거 보여줄게 하면서, 개 쩌는 걸 좀 뭔가 보여주던가. 그건 또 아니니까.
지들 말로는 비장의 요리가 쩐다고 하는데, 비장의 요리는 핀셋으로 보여져서 뭔지도 모르는데, 암튼 쩐다고 함.
저것도 결국 마케팅이고 홍보인데 아직도 감을 모르는 게 임모탈 아까 소개할 때는 그렇게 진짜 막 엄청 많이 준비하면서 보여주면서 왜 정작 사람들이 보려고 하는 디아4는 그렇게 부실하냐 이거야. 아 그래 미리 개발하고 완성이 됐다고 했으면은 더 확실한 걸 보여줘야지 우리한테. 18일까지 뭐 만렙 찍는다고 하는데 너무 힘 빼지 마세요. 너무 힘 빼지 마시고. 결국 새 시즌 열리면은 그동안 했던 것도 저건 다 날아갈 수도 있으니까. 뭐 많은 분들이 이미 시즌 오프를 하셨지만 지금 굳이 더 뭐 디아를 한다 이게 의미가 사실 없을 정도로 없어야 할 게.
좋은 생각만 하죠. 물이 반이나 찼구나.
새 시즌 일주일 정도 하고 싼다고 하는데 원래 시즌제 게임은 다 그래. POE 유저 이탈률 생각해보면 편해요. POE도 결국 시즌 열리면은 일주일이 뭐야 3일이면은 유저 절반이 떨어져 나가. 3일이면은 유저 절반이 접어요. 디아3는 3일이면은 거의 한 7, 80% 떨어져 나가고. 어쩔 수 없어. 시즌제라는 게 그래. 그래서 빡빡이 아저씨도 유저들을 붙잡고 싶어가지고 그렇게 노력을 하고 제발 가지마 하면서 붙잡는 거잖아. 근데 어쩔 수 없어. 시즌제 게임이라는 게 그래. 시즌이라는 게 모든 사람들, 모든 유저들 입맛에 다 맞출 수는 없어. 그래서 한번 이렇게 딱 찍어서 먹어보고 괜찮네 하면은 이제 그 사람들이 1주, 2주, 3주, 4주 진짜 맛있으면은 한 달 막 이렇게 하는 거야. 오늘 라이브 방송은 너무 부실한 것 같아요. 그리고 애초에 영어로만 저거 송출하는 것도 조금 마음에 안 들고. 아니 한국 유저들이 돈을 안 쓰는 것도 아니고 그거 통역사 붙여주는 게 그렇게 힘드나? 솔직히 암만 라이브라 그래도 동시 통역사 붙여줄 수 있는 거잖아. 해외 디아 스트리머 해봤자 씨발 누가 있는데 해외 디아 스트리머가 누가 있어. 누구? 어허. 어차피 다 그놈들이지. 아니 저런 거 지금 배틀넷에 페이지까지 준비했으면은 좀 신경 써주면 좋을 텐데 좀 섭섭하지 저거는. 한국에 유저가 없는 것도 아니고 조금 아쉽습니다 그건. 우리도 편하게 그 내용이나 이걸 좀 알고 싶은데 한국 시장을 버리는 게 아니라 모르겠다. 저거를 안 해주는 이유가 진척도 계승이 뭔 소리야? 다 안 했어? 욕망자? 그거 죽으면 새로 해야 돼. 왜 죽였어? 나 명망작 하다가 캐릭터 죽어서 명망작 처음부터 다시 했잖아. 그러네? 우리 PK 대회는 어떡하지? 아니, 상관없잖아. 왜 가장 많이 접속한 캐릭터로 저걸 해야 되는데? 명망작한 캐릭터가 아, 진짜? 에이, 아니야, 설마. 에이, 말도 안 되는 소리 하지 마. 에이. 아, 시스템적으로 해결 못해서 미안하대? 병신게임 진짜. 아니 잠깐만, 그러면 나 어떻게 되는 거지? 내가 명망작 뭘로 했지? 나 뼈네크로 명망작 한 거 같은데? 나 네크로 했어, 네크. 영망 보는 게 뭐였지? M에서 W. 맞네, 이거네. 얘만 살리면 되겠네. 잠김. 아니네? 와, 씨바, 이것도 새로 해야 되는구나. 아, 내가 명망작을 캐릭터마다 했어. 아, 두 개만 하면 되네, 두 개만. 그럼 나 네크 이거 절대 죽이면 안 되는 거야? (18일까지) 접속을 안 하는데 대신 이걸로 재단 작업이랑 이거 다 해놓은 다음에 그때부터 유지를 해야지. 근데 좀 실망스럽다. 기술적으로 해결이 안 된다. 미안하다라는 얘기를 씨발. 아니, 당당하게 한 게 아니라 미안하다고 사과를 하긴 했잖아. 아 그냥 하코하면은 저거 그냥 다 재단이랑 열어주고 시작하면 안 돼? 솔직히 하코인데? 아 씨발 기술적으로 안 되면 그렇게 해줘 차라리. 우린 명망작 안 하게 해줘 하코한 애들은. 그건 너무 징징이 아니라, 아 솔직히 이런 얘기 안 하게 생겼니? 말이 안 되는 거잖아 저건. 그러니까 이 정도 나도 이렇게 얘기하는 거야. 내가 하코하면서 막 그렇게 불평하는 거 봤어? 불평 안 해. 그냥 죽는 것도 그냥 겸허하게 받아들이고 다 얘기를 한다고.
그러니까 원래 계획대로라면 시즌마다 릴리트 재단 새로 짓고 다녀야 했다는 거죠? 야, 어떤 새끼가 생각했지?
정확히 캐치하였습니다. 원래는 이거를 다 시즌마다 일일이 다 찍게 하려고 원래 계획을 했었지. 원래 계획은 그거였지. 누구 생각인지 모르겠는데 저걸 일일이 찍으면 유저들이 좋아할 거라 생각하고. 알차지는 않은 시간이었다. 별로 알차지 못했다. 뭔가 밍밍하다. 차라리 그냥 호흡기를 떼던가 뭔가 또 궁금하게는 만들어 놓고.
그 와중에 위자 바리케이트 말쿨탐 이런 거 언급도 없었네.
야, 애초에 창고도 지금 저걸 못 늘려주는데 그걸 어떻게 없애냐? 저게 서양 감성이라서 그래. 한국이나 저 일본이나 이런 데면은 정장 입고 와가지고 두 손 모으고 이렇게 방송해요 진짜. 사태의 심각성을 알면은 이렇게 해가지고 이렇게 방송해요. 서양이라서 그런 거야. 서양이라서. 모르겠어. 아까 루리앱에서 뭐 저렇게 얘기했다며. 뭐 이상한 거 하코는 뭐 어떻게 해야 된다고 뭐 얘기했다며. 신규 아이템이 32종류라고 하는데 그 중에 80%는 안 쓰는 템이야. 걱정하지 마세요. 해산합시다. 늦은 시간까지 저 별 영양가 없는 방송 보느라 고생하셨네요. 그래도 마냥 아니야, 밍밍해. 영양가 얘기하기에는 밍밍해. 영양가는 없어. 내일 봐요. 영망 산다기까지 빨리 숙제해놔 형은. 빨리 디아 더 할 거면. 내일 봐요. 감사합니다. 뿅뿅.